The following is a presentation of Stratford Irish Hockey.
All right, folks, welcome inside the broadcast booth of the historic William Allman Memorial Arena. I'm Trey Hamilton, joined alongside my partner in crime, Mr. Brian Hawley. We are here with Stratford Irish pre-game live as we get you lined up for this afternoon's NPHL Metropolitan Division contest between your Stratford Irish and the visiting Six Nations Ironmen. Brian, good to be back because it's been what feels like quite a while since we've been in this broadcast booth, partner.
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks now, and you just get started on the season, and you just feel like you're falling behind. I'm here today feeling like I need to get caught up on a few things, just to remember how everybody plays the game and the excitement and the speed of the game. So, this is my first look live at the Six Nations team, so I'm really looking forward to tonight's game.
Yeah, this is my third look at them. Obviously, doing the games up in Orangeville, and I actually was on the bench with Halton Hills when we went there. The coach was on vacation, so I stepped in. I'm a man of many roles, not many talents, but I've done plenty of different things over this season already, Brian.
Your favorite e-bug, Trey Hamilton.
Exactly. I e-bugged in Six Nations as well. So we've got a long list of things that I've accomplished this year, specifically relating to the Ironmen. And Brian, one thing about that team that I've noticed is they're a little bit streaky. They seem to go on a stretch of 10, 12 minutes of play where they're hitting everything. They're crisp passing. They're getting pucks deep. They're chasing it down. They're winning puck battles, and then they'll go stretches of a game where it seems like they're not engaged and they're more worried about the physical side of things. Sticks up high after the whistles, protecting their goaltender, whatever it might be. And against a team like Stratford, with or without guys like Zach Magwood, Jaden Pekka, those kind of mistakes are going to cost you because Stratford's operating at 30%, the number one power play right now in the NPHL. So,
yeah, absolutely, and that type of game takes a good tempo. And if your tempo is off, you're going to have too much spacing or you're not going to get in on the forecheck, and it can turn around on you and get you into odd man rushes if you're not in the right place at the right time. The toughness aspect, we all love that part of the game. Having said that, though, it's got to be controlled because at this level you can't take a bunch of power plays because the team will just kill you.
Absolutely. It's with a team of Stratford's skill level, they were able to, I guess you could say, get a little bit deeper, Brian. There's been a massive trade that has occurred between the Halton Hills Coyotes and the Stratford Irish today. The players that are being sent back to Halton Hills, I'm not 100% sure on the names. I still have to get everything clarified. Obviously, it just happened this morning. But 3 highly skilled players are making their way here to Stratford from Acton. Most notably, a guy named Mateo Cabral. He's a guy who's going to stand out tonight, Brian. I believe he's wearing 97 for the Irish. So it'll be interesting to see. But I've had the opportunity to be on the bench with that Halton Hills team. And I got to say, all 3 guys they brought in, Brendan Charlton being another one of them, you haven't got to look at them yet, but they are skilled players. And one of the things that the Irish were criticized on all year is their lack of depth. It seemed like, they're walking into an arena with 2 lines, and they didn't even bring a third line. So, talk about a lack of depth on the roster. You needed to bring guys in that could solidify that third, fourth line. And I think after you see today, you'll be a believer in the 3 guys that are brought in that are pretty much going to slate right in and slot in and become that third line.
Yeah, well, we saw last year in the playoffs, didn't we, that we know that Stratford can go with a short bench. Having said that, when the pace of the game gets up, when you've only got 2 lines, we've all played beer league in our lives, and we generally played them with 2 lines. And, by the time you get into the third period, your feet start to drag a little bit, and that's when mistakes get made, and it can cost you hockey games. So you need that depth so that you still have a lot of energy going down the stretch.
Well, that reminds me a lot of the last time we were in this broadcast booth, a 4-1 second period lead over the Alvinston Killer Bees, who are still undefeated. They had them on the ropes, Brian. They couldn't close it out. And, again, it came down to they were running 3 lines. Alvinston ran 4. We know how good Alvinston's 4 lines are. Stratford made a lot of mistakes. Referees didn't help us out at all, but at the end of the day, you got to kill penalties. That's one thing that when I look at this matchup, Six Nations just under 80% on the penalty kill, which in senior hockey is a good number. Stratford, right around 70%. And last year in the former league, they hovered around 84%. So big difference here, and I get it. It's a new system defensively that Graz is running on the bench. But at the end of the day, what do we got to see to improve that penalty killing, Brian? Because if you're going to go on a deep run and ultimately win the Outlaw Cup, which is the biggest senior hockey tournament in Canada, you're going to have a better penalty kill than 70%.
Absolutely, and so it starts with two things. Number one, again, it takes energy to kill penalties, and if you're running with two lines, it's tough to have a whole lot of energy.
Yep.
So having more warm bodies on the bench, regardless of skill level, will give a chance to those top penalty killers to get a breather and not have to play quite so much, so they have more energy to kill penalties. The other thing, too, is that the roster is still in flux, as always happens in early season senior hockey.
Yep.
The roster will be in flux until probably well after Christmas. And then that's generally when teams start to lock down specialty teams because they're playing together more often. And we've seen it for years and years and years here in Stratford, where they start off a little bit slow, a little bit sluggish, and you start wondering, well, is this the year they're not going to do anything? And then by the time playoffs hit, they've got it all figured out. So they need to take every game in the regular season and make it an opportunity to get a little bit better at one or two or three different aspects of their game.
Absolutely. And this is a Six Nations team, Brian, that's going to come in here today, and they're going to play hard. They're a very well-coached team. I've had the opportunity to meet their coaching staff, obviously, in the several times that I've been in Six Nations this year. Very, very kind gentlemen. And they basically preached it at me that they know that they don't have the skill of an Alveston or a Stratford or an Orangeville. But what they have is they have heart, they have community, and they run a system. And that's the thing that a lot of senior hockey teams lack. I've got to be a part of it myself and witness it. And this isn't just unique to the Stratford Irish in any way. I believe Stratford actually does run a good system offensively, defensively. But a lot of senior hockey teams are a bunch of personalities that think they're bigger than the game. You know, guys that have been places, guys that have played pro overseas. And no matter if you try to give them a system or not, they're not going to play it. And Six Nations, they're not like that. They're a bunch of local boys. They all are, majority of the guys are from the reserve out in Six Nations. They want to come here. They want to play hard. They want to set a tone. So Stratford's got to watch out because they could catch them sleeping today, and you might wake up tomorrow 5-3-1.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And, you know, it's tough to play a really developed system at this level. You simply don't practice often enough.
Not at all.
If they get one practice a week and you're a busy senior hockey team. So,
Yep.
You know, at the end of the day, good on the team for buying into the system, to the players. And, you know, I think it's going to be a real test of the Irish and their kind of freewheel, engaged defenseman style versus structured kind of layback and work on the transition game style of the Ironmen.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, Brian, because on the back end, that's where we're missing a lot of guys tonight, and that's where a couple of these new guys slot in to the lineup. Specifically, pretty much the only regular two defensemen in the lineup tonight are going to be Matt Henderson and Thomas Hernandez, as Connor Hall's away. Unfortunately, Cole Thiessen's also away. Matt Barnes is away. A lot of guys planning vacations, you know, getting away before the holidays. And I understand a lot of guys in this league are obviously working 9 to 5s. They deserve that time away, and good for them. But you're going to have a different-looking defense tonight. That's not going to necessarily change the system, but I'd expect for these new guys to step in and be a little bit more cautious than the usual Stratford Irish defense that we see, which are run and gun, jump in, pinch at any cost. It works. I mean, 30% power play, obviously. Cole Thiessen, 4-point game last game. But I'm definitely excited to see if the new guys are willing to come in here and just kind of calm down and play their game.
Well, good luck with that, because it's really not, it's really not been our style here in Stratford to play a cautious game. It's you know, throw caution to the wind, join the rush, envelope, overlapping rushes. It's fun to watch, but it also can be very frustrating, and it's a reason that Coach Barry Grasby doesn't have any hair.
Yeah, exactly. Graz knows exactly what we're talking about. And it's been a great pregame show here on YouTube, folks. We're going to switch over the feed to SPORFIE. We have joined partnership with SPORFIE this year for the remainder of the regular season and the postseason. Go check out the link. It'll be posted on our Instagram story as well as our Facebook. And we also are offering the Seasons Pass package. So that package gives you a discounted price. I believe it works out to just under $5 a game for the remainder of the season. And that Season Pass includes playoff games as well. So we won't be charging extra money for the postseason games. That's all going to be included in the season pass package. And like I said, it's $5 a game. So if you're a Stratford fan and if you're a Six Nations fan, you might still want to check out some Irish games. So head over to SPORFIE, type in NPHL-Stratford Irish, and you will see the feed there. All right, folks, thanks so much for joining us. All right, folks, it appears we are ready to rock and roll from the historic William Allman Arena. I'm Trey Hamilton, joined alongside my partner in crime, Brian Hawley. Welcome to those of you tuning in on the SPORFIE live stream. Brian, I can hear myself in my ears. That's probably because the stream is playing in the background for our audio checks. Well, Brian, I got to say, I think the audio check was A-okay.
A-okay, absolutely. Yeah, we're ready to rock and roll here. It's finally time to get it going. Been 3 weeks since we've had a good game here. Let's go.
Yep, we have been ready for this one. The Irish come into this contest 5-2-1, and the Six Nations Ironmen enter the day 4-5-0. On the puck, it's Di Cristofaro, the newcomer. He'll fly up, fire a shot, kicked away easily by Tim Porter, the netminder. Six Nations starts the counterattack. Flying up through center, it's Briglin. He'll wait, he'll fire. That one off a leg. It bounces in front. Mitch Green, a shot and a big save early off the toe of Zach Weir. That's an early test. Henderson jumps up on the play. His cross-ice pass out of the reach of Stephen Pirog, and that'll allow the Six Nations Ironmen to reset. They might have a 2-on-1 developing. Here comes Laforme. He flies in. He takes the shot, and Zach Weir calmly makes the big save and holds on. Brian, that might not have looked like the biggest save in the world, but that's a good early stop.
Well, that's you use the word calm, and that's what we think of when we think of Zach Weir back there. Stratford fans have seen him for years, not only with the Irish, but also his junior career with the Warriors. And that's one thing you get out of him. It's very limited movement. He knows his position. He's functioning really well, and he was ready for that bad bounce.
All right, folks, do bear with us. We have quite a few newcomers in the lineup, as that was Jeff Silver on the puck. He played that one for O'Brien, whose pass into center ice is deflected in by Thomas Hernandez, and then he gets it deep. There's Montgomery, but it was out of his reach as Hill's on it. He'll chip it up the wall, kept alive at the line. Nice play that time by the aforementioned Jeff Silver, but Six Nations gets it out in center ice. Montgomery sends it right back in. He'll rumble in after it, battling with Theo Hill. Definitely a player to watch on that Six Nations Ironman team. Their top scorer and one of the top scorers in the NPHL. His pass, outlet picked off by O'Brien. He'll jump in. O'Brien sends it through the goal mouth. Nobody home. Here's Silver at the other point. He scores! A sneaky little shot got through the screen of Montgomery. Porter never saw it. And welcome to the Stratford Irish, Jeff Silver. Brian, I was told he's a stay-at-home defenseman who rarely puts the puck in the back of the net. Well, it looks like he just proved the haters wrong that time. The Irish take the early 1-0 lead.
Well, rumor has it he was told score within the first 2 periods or you're going to get cut. So he took care of that right away. No, I'm kidding, folks. But a great play by Montgomery, not just to get the puck deep, but to go hard to the net and create the screen there, which is the reason the puck went in the net. Great job.
All right, folks, when I do get the score update on Game Sheet, I'm going to step away to announce the Stratford Irish goal. But for now, I'm still on the call as Porter blockers that one away. Off to half wall, it's put back down low. I got 14 as Brendan Charlton tonight. I also had 14 as Calvin Thompson, so I had to make sure that wasn't Calvin. But based on the speed, I definitely know it wasn't Big Tomer. In behind the net, Sokol's on it there. He's going to backhand it up the wall. I'm just good. As it's picked off in center ice, here come the Ironmen. They charge in, dump it around the back of the kick plate, and it'll be taken over there by the Irish. From in behind their net, wearing number 7, that's not Matt Fuller, that's Ethan Salter. His drop back pass out of the reach of his teammate. And once again, you get new line mates all trying to figure things out together. It can be a little bit sloppy. All right, Brian, I'm going to step away. I got the goal here if you could take over for me as they have a play out front. Brian, you got it?
I got it, yep. And the puck comes back out now. Here's Porter. Porter coming in over the line, fakes the shot, and a soft shot on goaltender Zach Weir to make the save with his right leg and get the face-off to his right. So a good overall start for Stratford. That early goal, as we know, is very important for them, especially with a short-ish bench. They've got a couple more players that we weren't counting on. I think they have 14 skaters now, so they should be able to throw through 3 full lines out there, which should be able to space out their ice time throughout the game. So the puck, the face-off is won. It gets back behind the Stratford net. Di Cristofaro gets it out to the line, gets the line and just barely out, checked by Ray Robbins, and back to O'Brien. O'Brien circles in his own zone and over to Di Cristofaro, and I turn it back over to Trey.
All right, look at that timing. As that dump in was blocked away by Mitch Green, and now Laforme's going to start back the other way. Ray Robbins playing a little bit of defense here and there. Interesting, but a guy who will fill any role the Irish ask of him. As Zach Weir blockered that one away, and Out starts O'Brien. His outlet pass right on the tape. Here's Palillo. He'll go cross ice. Pirog in alone. In front they score. Ray Robbins on the doorstep. And it's 2-0 Irish before you could blink your eyes. A beautiful setup. Palillo down low. Pirog in front for Robbins. And just like that, Brian, it's 2-0.
Well, that's how you illustrate the importance of the first pass by a defenseman. Sean O'Brien with a fantastic first pass, catching Palillo on the dead run there on the right-hand side. And what a beautiful feather pass cross ice. Great look by Pirog. And, of course, Ray Robbins, you know what to expect from him. He's going to be going hard both directions at all times. He went hard to the net, and it was all he had to do was redirect it into the net, and you've got 2-0 Stratford.
All right, Brian, I'm going to have to step away again. I got the goal announcement coming up, so take over.
Well, Thomas Fernandez gets the puck down below the net behind Porter, and there's a scramble for it behind the net. Brady Hunter's in on it now, gets it back to the point, and unable to keep it in was Jeff Silver, and now we've got an odd man rush going back the other way, but Stratford recovers nicely, and the shot is over the net, off the glass, and we have a counterattack here. Henderson over the line, in for Montgomery, hauled down. Will we see a penalty? We will. And I'm not sure it warrants a penalty shot. No, it does not. It's a garden variety 2 minutes for hooking, but it was very much unnecessary. And, of course, there's Montgomery kind of pleading his case to try and get the penalty shot, although I'm not sure he was 100% serious about it. A little chuckle with the referee. Easy call for the referee there. Good job by Montgomery going hard to the net. We'll get our first look at the Stratford power play.
All right, as I'm back on the call, I do apologize because we do have our power play set up in the format of the Orangeville Blitz. So I will fix that at the intermission when I have time. But for now, you're going to be looking at the orange and blue power play graphic for the Stratford Irish. As Pirog fires that shot off a leg. Robbins is on it there. He'll circle in behind, get it back to the line. They're set up. Matt Henderson from that far right point puts it down low. Robbins goes cross corner. Palillo. Christian Palillo dances his way through, and then his pass back to O'Brien, knocked down at the point. And away goes Mitch Brown. Mitch Brown flying in. He's easily poked off his stick, though, that time by Palillo. And then O'Brien's going to find it on the half wall. He's tied up. Relentless forecheck by Brown, who back in his day in Tilsonburg a few years ago was one of the top penalty killers in the NPHL. Here's O'Brien from the line. He'll go cross ice on that far side. Palillo back to the high point. Palillo gets it back. He's going to wait, fake the shot, go back to the high point. The fired shot blocked out front. And it's going to come out to center ice, so the Irish are going to reset. 55 seconds to go here on this power play for Stratford. That one sent all the way down on Weir. He's going to stop it. He's going to leave it there for De Cristofaro, and he's going to look things over. Wearing number 97 today is Mateo Cabral. He's going to fly up. Cabral stops up, puts it around the half wall. It'll go back to the line. Kept in and then put back down low, out of the reach of a couple guys, and then Cabral chopped at it. Puck pops free. They try to get it back in front for Cabral. He goes back to the line at that far side point. De Cristofaro back for Cabral. Nice passing play. He walks in. He tries to get it off a leg out front. De Cristofaro activates. Power play winding down. Here's Cabral back to the high point. They look, they fire, and Porter's got it in there somewhere as we tick down to the final 15 seconds of the power play. Brian, good-looking power play so far.
Yeah, good puck movement. You're seeing lots of movement, lots of motion. You don't like to see a static power play, everybody standing around waiting to get their pass. Move to an open spot in the zone and in a passing lane. And be honest with you, if not for a bad bounce, Stavru probably would have buried one on the cross-ice pass.
Yeah, I think actually we're at 64, Brian. I think that's Alex de Oliveira. I'm pretty sure that's the brother. No, sorry, that's Alex de Oliveira. That is him. I do apologize. No, we got too many numbers that are the same guys, but some guys are not here as we are back to 5 aside. Cabral stripped of the puck. It bounces free down near that Stratford bench, and then
offside.
Whistle blows as it's offside at the Stratford line, or it might have hit something on the Stratford bench, which we saw a lot of last year. It was Ethan Salter, also a newcomer to the Irish, part of that trade with the Halton Hills Coyotes.
Well, a good job there by the Stratford power play. Lots of pressure. Most of the time was spent in the Six Nations end. And with a little more good fortune, they maybe could have had one there. And that third goal is so important in hockey, as we all know.
Well, we know no lead is safe, especially with the Stratford Irish. We learned that hard the last time we were here in the broadcast booth at the Allman. In behind the net, dancing his way out of trouble that time. That's de Oliveira. And then his outlet pass picked off. Here's Theo Hill. Theo Hill, always dangerous. Swings in behind the net. He's going to stop up, turn back, Hill then turns away from Cabral. Hill still turns away. He gets taken down, no penalty. And then D'Oliveira gets it out in center ice, and away go the Irish. It's Salter. His cross-ice pass, though, picked off by Sokol, and then he's going to send it the length of the ice. They're going to say no icing, surprisingly there. I guess they figure that Di Cristofaro or D'Oliveira got a stick on that, and he didn't. In come the Irish. Might have a mini 2-on-1, but Montgomery was hanging back as he was looking to cover D. On the far side, Henderson pinched in, and that one sent all the way through center, off the glove of Montgomery, so once again, no icing. And now they call that one icing. I thought it hit the glove of Matt Montgomery. Both linesmen.
So did I, to be honest with you. If I didn't see it, but you talked me into it because it looked like it changed direction.
Yeah, it just did look like it slightly changed direction. 13-11 to play here in period one.
But no argument out of the Six Nations team.
The head coach is asking the question, but he's laughing about it right now. So as Montgomery on the faceoff with Hill. Hill wins the draw. And his opposite Hill is going to send it all the way down. I don't think we'll have a goal. Oh, yes, we will, as this one's in on Weir. I jinxed it. The old announcer's jinx. Out of the center ice, Matt Montgomery on the puck there. He'll fly across the blue line. He's got a man back door. Tries to get it out front, but a good play by Sokol. Puck bounces free. It's sent towards the goal mouth. In behind the net, Montgomery couldn't get a stick on it. And now Hill's going to backhand it up the wall. Irish do keep it in. And now Hill's going to reset. He's got LaForme at the line, but a good look at the body that time. Oh, Matt Montgomery as he lays a man out, and then we got a penalty is in behind the play. A man got hit, and now Hill's going at a man in the corner. And that was interference, textbook interference on Oakley Thomas. He argues it, but that was clear as day. The man he hit did not have the puck, as that was Ben Sawyer, 55. And Oakley Thomas not in agreement with that call, but he's going to go sit down for 2 or less.
Well, he's lucky all he got was interference there because
yeah.
he hit Sawyer up high, and I was concerned for Sawyer because he got up and then fell down again, and I was a little concerned that he might have got his bell rung a little bit there. So let's hope he's okay, and Thomas will serve 2 minutes or less on the power play.
All right, well, we got the power play graphics set up here on the far side. Henderson moves it to O'Brien. The puck pops free. Henderson, the blast, the save, rebounds there, and Robbins couldn't get a stick on it. So the Ironmen will get their chance to clear it down. A minute 40 to go on this power play for the Irish. They're 0 for 1, as we mentioned in the pregame, operating at near 30%. Now this puck pops free. Mitch Brown backhands it all the way through and out into center ice. Here goes Robbins. Robbins has to stop up, leaves it there for Palillo. Smart play. Now Palillo gains the line, finds Henderson. Henderson stops. Now they're set up. Palillo for O'Brien. O'Brien quarterbacking this power play, gets it to Henderson. His shot off a leg. And on the puck, Pirog back to the line, Henderson. Henderson, the cross-ice pass on the tape. Here's Palillo. Palillo looks things over, gets it in front. There's Robbins, the quick shot, the save off the toe. A good stop by Hill. That's Porter, excuse me. Now, cross-ice pass. Down low, O'Brien gets Palillo. Palillo looks things over. Now he's going to turn. Wait, he's got Henderson. Henderson fires, and it's off a leg, goes in behind the net. There's Pirog. Pirog turns away from a check, backhands it in the middle. It goes all the way across. O'Brien the blast, and a big save by Porter. Mitch Brown, look at that. He's been out there for the whole penalty kill. He's still flying down trying to get after Weir. Weir pops the puck out, and Palillo sends it back the other way. On the puck there, Brendan Charlton. He'll skate up with it. Charlton, very skilled forward. He turns that one over. Look out. Di Cristofaro's got to hustle back. LaForme's on him. LaForme turns free. LaForme backhands it. As we're approaching the final 20 seconds of this power play, Ironman putting on a little pressure here on the Irish. Here's Cabral on that second unit. He'll play it off the wall to D'Oliveira. Irish get it up in center ice. Gaining the line, Charlton. He'll turn it back, but it's out of the reach of D'Oliveira. And that will take care of the Irish power play. They're 0 for 2 tonight. And a lot of that has to do with having a bunch of new guys on the ice. Here's D'Oliveira, makes a nice move. Puts that one out of the reach of his intended target. So this will be icing on the Irish. That was Ethan Salter unable to get a stick on it. So we'll get the face-off back in the Stratford end.
Well, good job by Six Nations doing yeoman's work, getting puck pressure in the offensive zone. Nothing kills a penalty better than putting pressure on the offensive team in their own zone. Burning time off the clock 200 feet from the net.
Off the draw, nice face-off win by Mitch Brown. Now the shot deflected on goal and a good save. Zach Weir, as he's got that one in the chest. Good deflection chance, but Weir up to the task, makes a good stop.
Yeah, Sandy Porter went to the net hard off the draw there and got a stick on that point shot and almost had a goal. But again, as we talked about before, Zach Weir very calm in the net.
All right, they're going to redo things here. They're tossing the Ironman forward, Mitch Brown, out of the face-off circle. I believe Mitch and his brother Jacob actually race. They do drag racing out in Six Nations, and they're very popular racers as well. So it's pretty cool to see them out here playing hockey. As that one chipped on goal and easily covered up by Weir. Late poke, but the Irish don't take exception to that one. So we'll get another face-off in the Stratford zone, this time to the left of the goaltender Weir. Good pace so far, Brian.
Yeah, I really like the speed in which the Irish have come out of the gate here. Up 2-0 already, 10 minutes in.
All right, now they're going to toss Montgomery out of the draw. Definitely advantage Six Nations now, as Montgomery, one of the top face-off goers in the NPHL. Brady Hunter steps in his place, and the draw is tied up, controlled by the Ironmen. From the line, they fire a shot, easily blocked away by Weir. Montgomery had some trouble with it. Now out in center ice, here goes Tito Hernandez. Hernandez chips one, hoping for Hunter, but Porter got a stick on it at the last minute. Now there's a big hit. Puck lays free. Henderson spins it around the plate. It'll pop free to Mitch Brown. Mitch Brown tries to go cross ice. Knocked down. Nice play by Hernandez. There's Hunter. Hunter fights through a check, but he couldn't get it to Montgomery, who was streaking. And now the Ironmen reset, and another bad pass in center ice. Tommy Hernandez having a crazy first period here, knocking down passes, and then that one sent all the way down. That will be icing on the Ironmen. We're going to face off back in their end.
Well, to your point, a great shift by Fernandez there on the forecheck, and also good positioning at center ice to clog up the center ice area and slow down the Six Nation attack. Clearly, Stratford is the quicker hockey club, and it's very important that they continue to use that speed moving forward.
Yeah, and they're minus guys like Zach Magwood and Jaden Pekka today, and Thomas Maya. The list goes on. Good keep that time by DeCristofaro. He's got Palillo. Palillo walks in, takes the shot, and the save by Porter. And he's got it. He covers up. Good stop that time. Honestly, Brian, he settled in nicely. A couple of maybe questionable goals early on, and he settled in nicely here in the last few minutes.
Well, I'm not sure he saw the first one, to be honest with you. Having said that, the other guy that looks good so far tonight, who's had a really good first 10 minutes, is Palillo, not just for the assist either. He's all over the ice. He's skating well, and he's carrying the puck as well.
Yeah, after talking to Irish coaching staff, they said it looked like he had turned a corner, so to speak, after last week's game in Strathroy. Cole Thiessen was one of the guys who had a monster night in the 5-4 overtime win. Another come-from-behind win for the Irish. But Christian Palillo was a guy who looked like he was just ready to make plays. Here's Pirog at the line. He'll just dump it in. Palillo will go after it with Hill. Palillo sticks it around the far side. Puck does eventually come free. And now the Ironmen make a play near their own net. That was dangerous. O'Brien's going to step up at the line. Bad pinch, and away go the Ironmen. Pirog, though, good back check, and now the puck pops free. Here's Theo Hill. Walks in, takes the shot, and he sent it high and wide. Now off the far side, a shot deflected, and it misses everybody, and now Ray Robbins is going to settle down. And there's the example, Brian, of the same old Irish defense with some bad pinching.
Yeah, they are guilty of that on occasion, and a good forecheck as well by Six Nations. You combine those two together, and that's a lot of times how you end up with odd man rushes.
All right, so the puck had popped free. By the way, folks, we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight here on SPORFIE. We were able to get our stream figured out to the point where we have our camera downstairs and our broadcast booth upstairs, two separate entities. We don't have the camera leaning over the edge trying to get that shot and making people dizzy at home. No more of that. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Here's Matt Henderson. He's away with the puck. Henderson's going to chip it in. It'll go off that far corner glass. Cabral with speed on it there. He's a great skater. That was one of the things they pointed out. Pass out front, the shot. Big save by Porter. As that was a beautiful chance for Charlton. And how about Cabral? What a beautiful rush that was, Brian. Just using that foot speed.
Wow, can he fly?
And in comes Charlton. Charlton in front, hoping for Cabral. It's out of his reach, and now Briglin's going to reset. Briglin fires it up. There's Mitch Green. He'll tip it in. Looked like it was from his own side of the red line, and the linesmen do catch that, and they're going to bring it back, and it's going to be icing. We'll get a face-off. It looks like they're actually pointing near center ice here, so it might have been deflected out of play.
Somebody got a piece of it at center ice there, and then I think it went out of play. So I tell you what, though, the only thing that was missing from that scoring opportunity was a quick look over to see Ethan Salter in front of the net all by himself with a wide-open net. It would have been a slam dunk had he have seen him, but as a rule, the coach, when you get into a prime scoring area like that, they'll want you to shoot.
There's a dump in on Weir. He'll stick it into the corner. He's calling for his defense to get there. Blowing a tire that time in behind the net was, I believe, Charlton, and now he's got the puck. Charlton chips it up through center. It's knocked down, and the Ironmen are looking to turn it into offense. Puck pops free. Nice play. Now DeCristofaro in some trouble. He'll play it. Nice pass, and here comes Charlton. Charlton's with Cabral. He'll just dump it in. Porter's going to glove it, and he's going to hold on, and we're going to face off down in the Ironman zone.
Well, I tell you what, Daniel D. Cristofaro, those fans of the Richmond Hill Coyotes will know him for sure because he was one of their better players, if not one of their best players, last couple seasons in the other leagues. So, he's a real big ad for Stratford and mitigates a little bit the miss of Thiessen not being in the lineup.
Yeah, well, Matt Fuller also suffered an injury last week. It does appear he's going to miss extensive time. So the Irish needed to make a move on the back end, and that was the move they made, D. Cristofaro and De Oliveira. As D. Cristofaro was technically a free agent, he had to have his contract released by the now Halton Hills Coyotes, but they did release the contract for him to sign here at Stratford. That puck chipped at the line. Hill's going to take a shot. It's knocked down in the slot, and Tommy Hernandez just gets it out to center ice. He's had a really good first period here. A lot of guys are having a very good first period so far, as Hernandez is going to send this one the length of the ice. That'll be icing. And with 6:37 to play here in period one, we'll get a face-off back down to the Stratford end.
Well, what we need to see out of the Stratford forwards is to get a little bit deeper down, a little bit lower. There's too much distance right now between the defensemen and the forwards. They're just trying to bang it off the boards. They are getting too high, and the Six Nations defensemen are pinching, so the forwards are going to have to get a little lower to get that first pass or just bust right out and go for the dump play.
Off the draw. Stratford controls, but they can't get it out. Now the fired shot. There's Matt Montgomery, man, standing up, blocking shots like that. Wow. That's all I got to say is wow. Silver took a run at a man. The puck pops free in behind the net. O'Brien just sticks it up the wall. On the far side, Pirog gets it to Robbins. Robbins the chip pass. Tommy Hernandez has got it. He blows a tire, and then Hill plays it in center. It's kicked at by Green, and then the puck pops free. Another bad pinch. Look out. Here come the Ironmen with numbers. The shot on goal. Rebound there, and Green spins it wide. Back at the opposite point, Hill sends one. It's kicked out by Weir right in the slot, but a great play by Ray Robbins. Who else? And here come the Irish moving up. Might be a 2-on-1. Pass in front. Pirog being interrupted that time. It looked like he was getting hooked, but he does get a stick on it, and he's got it in the corner. He'll put it down low. The pass in front for Robbins. The quick shot. The save up high by Porter. Good save that time, as he's had a solid second half of this first period. Now that pass right on the tape. Here's Pirog. Pirog sends it back door off the skates that time of Palillo, who was pinching. Now a pass towards the line. Look out, here they go 2-on-1. Theo Hill and Sokol. If he can get it to him, he'll put it in, and he sent it wide of the net. What a terrible decision that time from the defenseman. He had one of the best players in the league on his opposite side, and he didn't pass it to him. As here come the Irish. Drop pass in the middle. The shot by Palillo, and that one ramps high and wide. Might have been off a stick. Now Palillo puts it back down low. 5 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in this high-flying first period. And behind their net, Ironman control. They'll look, they'll fire it. It's tipped in by Anderson. Anderson, another former OHLer, he played with, I believe, the Brantford Bulldogs for a couple of years. He's got the puck here. Anderson fires the shot, but it's right into the chest of Zach Weir, who gave his man a look, laughs it off, and he's got the puck ready for the linesman. What do you thought of Zach Weir so far tonight?
Well, the same thing I usually think of him, to be honest with you. He's
Yep.
got that calm demeanor, and he's right where he needs to be every time. It's going to take a great shot to beat him, and he's not going to give you one. You got to earn everything you get from Zach Weir.
Off the draw, Cabral wins the faceoff. The puck does pop free, and Oakley Thomas took a shot, but it went wide of the net. Now they stick it around the backside. Salter gives it to O'Brien, and then the outlet picked off. In front, Brown the shot, and there's Zach Weir, always calm and composed, as we just talked about, Brian, like a broken record. Just a very calm demeanor with Zach Weir.
Well, that's what you love about him, but they have to move the puck better on that first pass. They've had a few good examples of that, but the last 3 or 4 minutes, they're having great difficulty coming out specifically on these near side boards.
Yeah, O'Brien having some trouble getting the puck out of the zone here with these new teammates, new line mates out there, as they say it's onside. Walking in, the quick shot, and it was sent high and wide that time by Charlton. Now at the opposite point, Cabral keeps it alive. It's bouncing in the feet of Salter, and then it comes out to center ice. Henderson drops it back, and O'Brien there, back for Henderson. One guy they're definitely missing tonight is the presence of Connor Hall on the back end, one of the most steady defensemen in the NPHL. Is that one sent up the wall? On it there, Salter. Salter fires the pass off the skate of Montgomery, but that's from his own side of the red line, so icing. And that crispness we saw in the first 5 minutes, Brian, from the Irish specifically, seemed to kind of faded away here as we got 4 minutes to go here in the first.
Well, a little bit of the credit needs to go to Six Nations as well. They're doing a little better job of getting structure into center ice. That's what they want to do. They want to make you skate through sand at center ice and make you, pass over sticks and skates. So they're doing a good job of that. Stratford needs to adjust now.
It's a game of adjustments here. As we talked about in the pregame, Six Nations a very well-coached team. They won't give you anything easy. As that fired cross-ice pass knocked down, there's the captain, Mitch Green. He'll fire from the sharp angle. Weir easily kicks it away. Stratford getting a little gassed here in the latter portions of this first period. That pass fired up, and away goes Matt Henderson. Henderson on the left wing. He's going to stop up, get it in the middle. Hunter, the quick shot, and he sent it wide of everything. It bounces out the other side. And man, oh man, the Irish have had 4 or 5 prime scoring opportunities that I can think of in this period. They sent the puck wide of the net. As that far side pass off the feet of Laforme. Laforme's going to wait. He's going to backhand it back to his defenseman, and then they're going to send it all the way through center ice in the air. It's kicked down and backhanded right back in. Nice play that time from Silver. I like Silver. He's a good defenseman so far. He's got the goal, the first goal of the game, and he's stepping up in the neutral zone. Love to see it. There's Brigland. He'll fit right in on the defense is what I like to say. As Brigland will carry it. He'll chip it off the stick of Laforme. Now Laforme gets it back. Laforme in behind the net, tries to get some space, chips one out front. Hill couldn't get a stick on it, and then the puck pops free. Still on it. Laforme, the backhander up high. Good shoulder save by Weir. Irish getting a little scrambly here in their own zone. And then that one off of an Ironman player and into the Stratford bench. We'll see where they put the faceoff. It looks like it's going to come out into center ice. 2:42 to play here in period number 1.
Well, the Ironmen are really getting their forecheck going, and they're putting a lot of pressure on these Stratford defensemen, and that's wise to do that when they're shorthanded late in the period to see if you can catch them flat-footed.
Face-off won by Robbins, and then back in their own zone, DiCristofaro gives it back to Robbins. Robbins for Palillo. Palillo chips it through. He's got P-Rug, but offside, they say it's offside. And they're going to bring the face-off back into center ice. Based on where that pass came from, I'd imagine it's just outside the Stratford zone.
Just to the far side there, I think. And what a great job, a great period that Palillo is having. He's starting to remind everyone of that guy who was number 2 in league scoring a couple of years ago. Yep. And, boy, he's really having a good first period.
Well, when he came to Stratford, I think a lot of people questioned, can he be the same guy without playing with Kevin Hu, who's the guy that he played with all through, his career in the GMHL. And I know that Christian, that's the one thing when you talk to Christian, he's a guy who played high levels. He played for the Caledonia Corvairs as Roger gets taken down that time. And no call. He's upset about that one as he was off to the races. But Palillo played for the 99ers, a couple other teams. That one's going to be icing as it's under the stick of Anderson. But Christian tries to tell people, I've been a great hockey player with or without playing with Kevin Hu, but playing with a guy who scores 40 goals in a 24-game season doesn't hurt the resume either. But he's done a great job, Brian, since he filled in and got the ring last year, and they're looking for another one this year.
Well, one thing I really love about him, there's lots to like about him, but one of the things that I really like about him, his ability to pass the puck, which is, he strikes you as more of a sniper, but he is as good a passer as there is on this Irish team.
Well, when you're 6 foot something, where you're basically a tree, you can see through everything. There's a shot, kicked away by Porter. It pops out on the far side. There's Henderson. He'll spin it down low. Henderson gets it back, and then it's sticked down to center ice by Anderson, and the Ironmen are going to peel off for a change. On the puck in their own zone, DiCristofaro, the newcomer, works free from behind the net, gets it up, and it's chipped in by Hernandez. Going after Cabral. Cabral gets taken down by Anderson. Sorry, that's Hill. The puck does pop free. It's a 4-man scramble. Hill leaning on his man, and then the puck pops free. There's Anderson. Anderson had some trouble with it, but he gets it up to Sokol. Might be numbers. 3-on-2 develops. Walking in Porter. Porter waits, fans on the pass out front. Now he gets it back and out of the reach of Theo Hill. Good stick by Thomas Hernandez. He's been very active here in period 1. I'm going to jump out. No, I'm not doing the last-minute announcement. Perfect, thank you, as that one's offside. I see she's got the mic in her hand, so I don't have to worry about it, Brian. Look at that.
We got somebody for that. We got you. We got
somebody for that, but regardless, good first period so far. Minute 14 to go. We'll see if either team has some late magic, as the Irish have been experts at scoring that last-minute goal this year. We saw it actually in that Elvinston game. Last second of the first period, Jaden Pekka made it 3-0 Stratford. We're at the same score right now, too, but that's a bad turnover. Now it's turned back the other way. Montgomery chips it off the wall as Ben Sawyer is number 55 tonight. He's a little bit, like I said, he got a little bit shaken up on that last play when he got taken down. Montgomery, he's got the puck back to the line, sent off a leg, look out. Thomas tries to get away, and instead it's Brown. Brown swings wide. Brown sends one off the outside of the net. And now it's sent up the wall, and away go the Irish. Chipping it through, here comes Brady Hunter. Hunter flies up, swings wide, takes the sharp angle shot, and he sent it high and wide. At the line, it's kept in, fired to open ice. Going after it in the corner there, Sawyer. Ben Sawyer tied up. Puck does eventually come free. He gets it to Montgomery, who tries to get it back to the line, and O'Brien, a bad pinch. It bounces off the linesman. Might be a 2-on-1, but look at Montgomery with the back check. Matty Montgomery, always the best back checker on your team, as that one put through. Skating up, Sawyer, and he's going to lose that puck battle. Puck pops free. Thomas takes a dive, doesn't get the call. And here come the Ironmen as time expires here in period number 1. Brian, thoughts on that opening 20? And especially the second half, it just seemed like a different game than that opening 10 minutes for the Irish.
Well, you sure had to like the first 10 minutes of the Irish coming out of the gate like that, and then a good adjustment mid-period by the Ironmen. I keep wanting to call them the strong men.
The strong men.
I tell you what, the good adjustment there in a tough road environment against a team that's a little bit quicker. They played a little quicker. If you can't skate quicker, you have to play quicker, and that's what they were doing. They were in better position defensively, gave up less scoring opportunities as that period wore on.
Absolutely. Well, one thing I will take away from the new guys, I've been very impressed with the skating ability of Cabral so far, and Charlton.
Man, can he fly? Cabral.
14 and 97. You know, you throw Cabral on a line with Pekka and Magwood. Man, oh man! All of a sudden, that Feezy, Chandler, Lamoureux line doesn't look as dangerous. And for Ben Sawyer, 55 specifically, got a huge hit in that first period. Looked a little shaken up. One thing I've noticed is it seems like he didn't realize. A lot of guys don't when they come into this league, and I'm not picking on him right now. I'm just saying, people who don't credit the level of this hockey, they come out and they play it. Even guys that have played in places in the past, and they don't realize it's quick, man. And he looked like by the end of that first period, he didn't have a lot of gas in the tank, because you don't know how hard can you go when, you know, the hockey moves as crisply as it does at this level. So.
Well, the first 8-10 minutes of this game, the pace was frenetic. It really was. And that's the way Stratford likes to play. They like to drive the pace of the game, and they were doing a good job of that early on. And as I mentioned, the Ironmen did a good job of making the adjustments and slowing them down at center ice.
All right, folks, that takes care of first period action. We'll be back. Stick around. Second period action coming your way next. You're watching Stratford Irish Hockey, presented to you live only on SPORFIE.
And folks, welcome back to the second period of tonight's battle between the Six Nations Ironmen and your Stratford Irish. 2-0 lead here after one period on a good, entertaining period. Lots of end-to-end action. Some couple of big hits, couple of nice saves. Zach Weir looks really good. A couple of Stratford players look pretty good. We're still getting used to some of these new faces here, and so we're just adjusting. Rolling with the punches.
Rolling as we go, Brian. That's what we're going to say tonight. As Henderson from his own zone sends that one off the stick, nicely deflected in by Ray Robbins. It'll bounce up the far side, and Six Nations has it down on this right wing. He'll fire the pass on the tape. Anderson, the former Brantford Bulldog, chips it in. He'll go after it, but Weir pokes it away nicely from him. And on the puck there, it's Palillo. He'll bounce it out in center, out of the reach that time of Ray Robbins. And now the Ironmen reset. As Anderson backhands that one in. On it there, DiCristofaro. He'll send it up the wall. DiCristofaro being elevated now to that top pair with Matt Henderson. Interesting here. He's after this puck. Anderson gets it. He'll bounce it back to the line. They'll backhand it in. Expect Six Nations to really get back to their game here in this second period, winning those board battles and getting point shots through just like that, trying to wear down the goaltender. There's Hill, the fired shot from the sharp angle. It caught Weir up high. Good save. Now Anderson in behind the net tries to make a dipsy-do. He's still on it. Anderson, good opening shift here from the Six Nations Ironman. Puck pops free, and Pirog tries to spring Palillo, but he couldn't get him. And now Robbins, second try. He'll get it just out of the reach of Pirog, but no icing. So he'll peel off for the change. On the puck there, it's Pirog. He'll backhand it down low. Picked off nicely by Sokol, and then he turns it over at the line. Kept in by Pirog momentarily, but he had to take it back into center, and they'll reset. Here's Palillo on that far right wing side. He's got Hernandez. Hernandez cuts in to the backhand, sends one off the outside of the net. Might have caught a piece of the goaltender. Now Hernandez fights through two checks, gets it out front. It goes back to the line. De Oliveira, the shot, and the blocker saved by Porter. Good save early on from the Ironman goaltender. Big hit in the corner. Sokol comes together with Hunter. Puck pops free. On the puck there, Hernandez, and then they lose the four-man scramble, and the Ironmen look to break out but turn it over. Here's Hernandez, walks in, the shot, and it was off a leg and goes just wide. Back to the line. Shot by Di Cristofaro was blocked. Sorry, that's De Oliveira. Got to get used to those two. And instead, Laforme's going to carry it in. He'll rumble in after it, the big defenseman. He's on it behind the net, and then his pocket is picked nicely that time by De Oliveira. And then a bad turnover in front. Mitch Green, the shot. Weir thought he had it in the glove. He was calm about it. Puck popped out. Ironmen still have possession. That was a strange one as Weir confidently holding the glove up, and he never actually had it. Up on the far side, Montgomery was jumping. Oh, my goodness, that shot almost caught an Ironman face. Now the fired shot blocked away, and here goes Montgomery on the breakaway. One-on-one, Montgomery in. Deeks, the shot, saved by Porter. What a stop, and then Montgomery falls into the boards. The rebound shot was blocked as we have chaos here in period 2. There's a fired shot, knocked down out front. It pops free, and the Ironmen are going to start up. Might be a 2-on-1. Here they come, Brigland and Green. Brigland walks in, takes the shot in. That time, Weir's got it in the mitt as he holds it out and laughs in front of the linesman. He's like, I got it. Don't worry, guys. And he'll hold on.
Well, I'm reminded of a time a long time ago when Patrick Waugh caught a shot and kind of almost I'm not saying Zach Weir hot dogged it, but it was very reminiscent of the play where Patrick Waugh caught a shot and then thought he had it and it popped out and went in the net. So Zach Weir fortunate that didn't cost him a goal.
Yeah, the rest of the team stopped skating. I think they're that confident in his glove hand, as we just saw on that last save. But yeah, just crazy circumstances as it's been frantic. That one's offside, so the faceoff will come back to center.
One thing about Zach Weir is that not only does he emanate calm, but he also had a pretty good baseball career in Stratford minor baseball.
Yep.
And so anything that he can catch, that's how he'll play it. He won't knock it out of play with a stick or a blocker. He'll catch it if he possibly can, going back to his old baseball days.
Here's a play put in deep by Brown. Going after it, though, on that far side, Silver. He'll send it up the opposite wing. Six Nations in adjustment. I've noticed, Brian, as they're playing their wingers hard on the walls here in this second period, as they know Stratford's MO is put it around the opposite side when you're in a little bit of trouble, and it's working out. But here's Cabral. Let's see if he can get those legs going. He's got his man on the far side, Salter. Salter hits the trailer. Henderson, the shot, and he sent it high and wide. Puck pops out. Goes in behind the net. There's Cabral. He'll spin it out front. Henderson, he had a man. It pops out. There's another shot, and it's sent wide. And that'll allow the Ironmen to get it out in center ice. Their clearing attempt knocked down. They'll reset. Here's Hill. Wearing 84, that's Dylan Hill. He'll get it up in center ice, diving after it there, Porter. And then Mitch Brown takes a little shot. And that time, once again, the gloves work. And Zach had to make sure there was no hole, as he's laughing about it right now with his defenseman, Di Cristofaro.
Well, one thing that we've seen also in this game is that the Six Nations defense have a propensity for giving the puck away, and there was another bad one there right after the Montgomery breakaway. I think it was Hunter they gave it right to, came in right down Broadway, was unable to finish.
What a save by Hill, though, man, to keep this 2-0. Here's Palillo. He had a break, but it bounced over his stick. Palillo then the backhand, puts it into the corner, and Six Nations is going to get it out into center ice, and look out, here goes Theo Hill. He's one-on-one with Di Cristofaro. Hill waits, walks into space, sends it off the pad of Weir. It'll pop free on the far side. At the line, they send a shot. Can't get it through the screen. Eventually it gets back to Hill. Hill tries the wraparound, gets it out front. Nobody home, and away go the Irish. P-Rog gets stepped into about 3 seconds late. Irish bench not happy about it. They wonder why nobody wants to play these guys. In behind the net. There's Palillo. Can they make them pay? No. And away goes Anderson. 3-on-2. Anderson. And there's a man running at somebody, Di Cristofaro, and that's what happens when you take cheap shots. It gets the temperatures elevated, and now P-Rog and Anderson sticks up high after the whistle. And we'll see how this game develops, Brian, as we get into this second period. But that's one of the issues that people have, is this is a lacrosse team on ice. And these guys play very physical hockey, nothing wrong with that. But when you're hitting a guy 4 seconds after he lets the puck go, that's the kind of stuff that we've eliminated from hockey. And at the end of the day, I expect the officials to step up and do a better job and call those type of situations so that the game doesn't get out of hand.
Absolutely. It's not the late hit that bothers me as much as how high they're hitting. It's a couple times tonight that we've seen hits up high in toward the head area. And that's how guys get injured. And this is still a working man's league. And
look out for Montgomery. He's 1-on-4 behind the net. He gets out of there in time. He's still got the puck. Sorry, Brian. I cut you off.
No, that's all right. At the end of the day, you know about one thing about Montgomery is that he's not going to shy away from anything out there. One of the better two-way players in this whole league, to be honest with you, and so he won't shy away from any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they're going after him too. He was under their skin a lot when I was down in Six Nations that day, And he actually played that game, Brian, the night before he blocked a shot in Tilbury in the Irish's 7-6 loss against the Bluebirds. Right off his hand. His hand was almost the size of a baseball. He was able to fit it in the glove, and he still went out and played in Six Nations. Didn't do a whole lot. I mean, he was shooting muffins on me in the warm-ups when I was e-bugging. But you know what? Just a heart and soul guy. And I got to say, I bet you that's something the Tilbury Bluebirds, Dylan Denemy and the guys down there, Big Joe who run the team, you know, it's something they're probably wishing that they didn't let him go for nothing, because they literally traded him for nothing. He was getting no playing time, and how big of a role has he had with this Irish team?
Well, he was huge in the playoffs last year.
Here's Hill off the draw. Dylan Hill. He'll backhand it right into the chest of Weir as he gathers the rebound and holds on. And now Montgomery and Weir, they've been going at it.
They've been going at it this whole shift.
Yeah.
Montgomery went and just gave him a little tiny chop down there after the icing, and they had a conversation on the way up, and then Hill just a little jab there again.
Yeah, Anderson circling. Anderson was a fighter in
that
the
was
Ontario.
Anderson. Yeah.
It was Hill that was going after him, but Anderson, again, he was a fighter in the Ontario Hockey League with the Brantford Bulldogs, so he's not scared. He won't shy away. As Six Nations, one thing we know, and I give him credit, they'll finish all their checks. And head coach Marco Alexander told the team when I was actually on the roster that day, ironically, in Six Nations, you know, you got to remember, boys, this is playoff hockey, right? This is the way that teams play in the playoffs. They finish every check, and if you want to get used to the feeling of playoff hockey, no better way than to play this Ironman team. Here's Brady Hunter racing after a loose puck. He's got it. He's 1-on-3, though. He steps around to check. Hunter to the backhand, tries to get it to the line, and then Anderson just sends it down the ice. This will have enough for icing, so that'll bring the face-off back into the Six Nations zone. But again, it's like playoff hockey, Brian.
Well, and they have to play that way, don't they? They have to finish all their checks. They don't have a lot. You know, they're not real deep talent-wise. They don't have a lot of guys that are intimidating offensively. And so, you know, you have to play your style of hockey, and you have to decide what that style is. And we've just got, I think, one injured player. Steve Laforme is walking up the hallway there. Seems to have a little bit of a lower body injury, a bit of a limp. He was walking out of sight there, so hopefully he's okay.
Here's a play off the half wall. It'll bounce to the opposite side, going after it there, Theo Hill. Hill overskates it momentarily. Cabral right on him, all over him. Good forecheck from Cabral. Now the backhand outlet looking, picked off by Silver. Now they got the trailer. The fired shot, Charlton, and it went off a stick up and high. Now Mitch Brown settles it down. He'll bounce it off that half wall, and then Theo Hill sidestep what would have been a big check from Silver. And Silver, that's one of the things, he's going to slot into this third pair very well, because as you see, you're going to know when he's on the ice. There's a fired shot blocked by Silver, and then he finishes his check into the corner. On it there, Oakley Thomas. Thomas gets it out front. Nice play at the side of the net. Mitch Brown denied. Huge glove save by Weir. Now it comes free. The fired shot kicked away by Weir as the Irish started collapsing in their own zone. Good response that time from Six Nations, but Zach Weir stands up, makes a couple huge stops.
What a huge save there by Weir.
Yeah, Mitch Brown was loose at the side of the net. And, you know, he's a little guy, but he's got a lot of heart, and he knows how to finish. And Zach Weir just stuck the mid out, mid a nice stop. Now he plays it in behind the net. O'Brien's got it. He's going to start the rush. He'll get it on the tape. There's Pirog. Pirog sidesteps Sokol. Puck pops free. Mitch Brown. He'll dump it in. And does it have enough for icing? No. Silver on it. Silver spun down to the ice. No call. Puck stays free. Man tied up in the corner. And here's O'Brien. O'Brien gets that pass up nicely on the tape. Here's Palillo. He'll bounce the pass. He's got Pirog. But again, just out of his reach. This line clicking so far, but they haven't been able to really just find that home run pass. Sokol goes after it in the corner. It bounces free. And now the Ironmen are going to start up. Mitch Brown turned it over. Here's Palillo right out front. Palillo can't get it. Robbins takes a shot. It was blocked. A stand-up block. Nice block that time, as I believe that was Braden Hopkins. Now he gets it up on that far side. It's a bouncing puck taken away by Robbins, and then he'll get it up to Palillo. Christian Palillo gains the line, drops it back. D. Crisofaro the shot. Kicked away. The rebound's there. It's still loose. It's in behind the goaltender, and Ironman tried to tuck it in behind Porter to try to get the whistle. They couldn't, and now Robbins just chips it in offside, so they'll reset. Now the puck pops free. Montgomery, he's held right there. No call. He'll fire the shot, and Porter kicks it away. And I don't know how you don't call that one holding, Brian. I've seen 1,000 holding calls in my life. That looked like one of them.
Well, and Monty is canvassing the referee for some help on that call as well. But, yep, and just give him that bear hug kind of motion. But
yep.
I tell you what a great job defensively, and yet another giveaway by the Six Nations defensemen.
Yeah, their breakout has not looked crisp at times here in this game, and that's what we talked about in the pregame. At times they look like world beaters, and they'll be all over you. And then at times they just get real sloppy, and that's why Theo Hill, number 11's got to play, every second shift for this team. And, you get gassed after a while. Montgomery dumps that one in. No icing. Stopping it up behind their own net. Ironmen look to start their breakout. They fired right on the tape. Here they come down that far side. Theo Hill cuts towards the middle. On it there with Skylar Thomas. He'll put it down low. Off the wall, DeCristofaro backhands it up. And then nice play to chip that one in center. Here comes Montgomery. He's one-on-one. Montgomery, the quick shot, and Porter, no problems. He's got it in the glove. Montgomery then gets up in his grill. And, he always, like you said, Brian, he won't back down to anybody. He wants to get under your skin, draw penalties, and that's what he does best.
Well, he's a guy who became very popular very quickly after his arrival here in Stratford. And by the finals against Strathroy last year, he was one of the most popular players out here.
There's a fired shot easily snared by Hill. He's got it. Sorry, I keep calling Porter Hill. I do apologize to Tim Porter. He makes that stop. He'll hold on. We'll get another face-off to his left.
Well, and it's been a good 5 or 6 minute stretch for Stratford, getting in on the forecheck, causing a lot of turnovers, generating some opportunities. But it's, they got to start burying these things. They're getting guys coming right down Broadway time and again, and they just need to pick a corner and start burying some of these.
All right, green toss from the draw. Robbins, a very good face-off man. He'll line up here, and he'll win it straight back. O'Brien, the blast, and off the blocker. Just glanced off the blocker that time of Porter. And then that shot sent off a stick into the opposite corner, and Mitch Green's on it there. He'll get it up. Here's Briglin. Briglin sends it in. That one's from his own side of the red line. And Anderson and O'Brien tangle up, but cooler heads prevail. We'll get another face-off down in the Ironman zone.
This has been just kind of a sidestepping affair here where guys are looking like they want to engage against each other, but then the last minute they don't. So it'd be interesting to see in the next few minutes to see if something's going to happen. Stratford doesn't have a lot of players, so I know somebody joked earlier they can't have a line brawl because they won't be able to field a team after that.
Yeah, 2 fights and you're done. They have to forfeit. Here's Brady Hunter. He'll chip it. It's picked off by Dylan Hill. He'll get Anderson. Anderson goes cross corner. Briglin will rumble in after it. Briglin gets it, and then his spun pass, hoping for the front of the net, was turned aside, but then Dylan Hill keeps it into the line. He'll fire a shot, and Weir saw that all the way with Anderson standing in front of him. And now a bit of pushing and shoving. But Anderson is a big body, and like I said, he was a fighter in the Ontario Hockey League, which, I mean, it's a little different than being a fighter maybe in, the Quebec Senior League. But he knows what he's doing out there, right?
He certainly was announcing his intentions. He got right in the grill of Zach Weir, and he didn't do anything towards Weir. He just stood there right in his shadow, which is something that generally is not well received in men's hockey.
Cabral chips that one down. Will it have enough for icing? No, look at the speed right there of Salter. He'll get there first. Salter sidestep to check, though, and the puck pops free in behind the net. Ironmen set it up the wall. They look to get their breakout going, and they'll lay it back in their own zone and fire it up through center ice. Under the stick of, that time it was tipped in by Hill, so no icing. And Henderson's going to send an aerial pass through center ice. Bouncing down Salter, and he couldn't quite flag it down. Sokol sends it to center ice. It's taken there by Hill. Hill then tied up by Salter, and a little neutral zone action back and forth. Here we go. As that one dumped in by the Ironmen. It'll bounce off those strange Allman boards. It comes free to Hill. Hill's going to try the wraparound, but right on him there's Cabral. Cabral shadowing him. Back to the high point, takes it away. Might be a breakaway. They get it up. Here comes Cabral. One-on-one. Shots. Scores! Welcome to the Stratford Irish, Mateo Cabral. A couple of newcomers today find the score sheet, Brian. And just like that, that ever so important third goal, Stratford jumps ahead.
Well, and a fantastic job backing that play up by Ethan Salter, who had one heck of a shift there. He was all over the place. And Cabral created the turnover and lost the puck, though, at the blue line. And there was Salter, Johnny, on the spot to help him out and just dumped the puck up past the defenseman and sent Cabral on the breakaway. And he made no mistake going high cheese on the blocker's side. So a real nice play there, and finally they get that third goal. So I'll be picking up here for Treh for a few moments here. The puck goes around, and now we see a finish check and out to center ice. Hill picks it off, gets it back in, and he gets the puck back in the middle, and back to the point it goes. Shot there blocked, and the Six Nations forwards are getting a little forward with that goaltender. I wonder if that's going to get answered soon. Dylan Hill get right up there in the grill of the goaltender, and I was a bit surprised that didn't cause a little bit more of a discussion.
Yeah, that's something that they're getting to here in this second period, Brian. Ironman getting in there, but it's interesting to see a defenseman right up in the grill of the goaltender. You don't see that every day. Here's Silver. He'll chip it around. I've heard Silver is very good buddies with former Stratford Irish captain Justin Murray. So I guess Murden wasn't able to free up the schedule this year to play, but he was able to send one of his good friends who's also a very steady defenseman, played junior with him, not with the Barrie Colts, but over the years growing up. So it's good to see Silver on the roster, and he opened the scoring tonight. Here's Palillo. Fires a shot right in the glove, and Porter's got it. He'll hold on. And now we got sticks up high after the whistle, as we've had over the last few whistles. And Anderson wants a piece of Montgomery, and we'll see where this goes.
Well, Montgomery's going to the net hard, and he's already got under the skin of 2 or 3 of the Ironman players. And so specifically Hill and Anderson, who are making sure that they're getting to know Mr. Montgomery, and we'll see where that goes. And now you can just see Anderson just kind of getting involved there again. He's talking to Thomas Hernandez, who is definitely not one of the what you would call the heavyweights on this team.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen. Oh, there's holding the stick. They get away with that one. And then the puck in center ice, and away goes Briglin. Briglin moves up 3-on-2. Briglin takes a shot. Good save Weir. The rebound pops free, and then it's going to be hoisted through center ice nicely by Palillo. And off the half wall, puck ends up being sent in deep by Briglin. On the puck there, it's Anderson. Anderson out front, but a great stick lift, and they call a penalty. He lifted his stick, and they call it a hook. That is a terrible call. And the Ironmen will get their first power play of the game.
Well, that's unfortunate. It was something that he had to do to lift the stick. There was a time in this world that lifting a stick wasn't a penalty, but we don't live in that world anymore. And so, they had the turnover that caused the odd man rush. And so at the very least, you could say that Palillo needed to hook that stick. Otherwise, there was going to be a prime scoring opportunity here. So we'll get a look at the Six Nations power play, I think, for the first time tonight.
Yep, their first power play of the night as Ray Robbins sent that one down the ice. It actually hit off the shoulder of Mitch Green. I don't think that was intentional, but you just never know the way these two teams are not getting along. And then Robbins' stick ripped out of his hands. They missed that one somehow. Robbins in the confusion, can't get back. Here comes Theo Hill. They got a man out front. Fired shot off the outside of the net, and then it's sent to the line, not out, kept alive by Hill. He'll go over to Theo Hill, who will fire the shot into the chest of Zach Weir, and he holds on. Now, you got to call it both ways, Brian. Down in the opposite end, Ray Robbins' stick was ripped out of his hands, and he's asking the referee, how did you miss that one? And
well, making matters worse was the fact that he went to the bench to pick up a stick and then dropped the one that he was handed. He got about 3 or 4 guys reached their stick out to give it to him, and he had so many to choose from. He dropped the one that he did grab, and then he had to stop and get another one. So fortunately, it didn't cost Stratford a goal.
Well, they lived to tell about it, and then finally Charlton gets that one out in center ice. 1:30 to go here on this power play for Six Nations. Their first man advantage of the night. Briglin turns it over. Away goes. Sorry, that's Charlton. Charlton right in. Again, all the new numbers, folks still trying to get used to it. I was about to say Kelvin Thompson, but I don't think Tomer skates quite like that anymore. It would be Kelvin Thompson asked to jump up on the play, though, shorthanded. And that's no hate on him as Charlton makes a nice play and sends it all the way down. Going after Cabral. He's in the corner with Hill. Cabral ties him up. Nice play. A good penalty kill here from Mateo Cabral, the newcomer, as, again, he got his first goal as a member of the Stratford Irish. The new guys are going to fit in very well here in Stratford. That's all I'm going to say. Man blows a tire behind the net. Robbins tries to tie the puck up. It's underneath of a body. Anderson gets it free to Hill. Hill sidesteps a check, waits, and then backhands it to open ice. And it's Mitch Green who did just blow that tire. He'll send it up in center to Briglin. Here comes Briglin. He'll fake the shot, lose the puck, and that one sent all the way down. Very uneventful first power play here, Brian, for the Ironmen so far.
Well, fantastic kill down low with Cabral and Robbins. And Robbins, of course, has been killing penalties off, all his hockey career. Great job getting the puck down there, just like Montgomery's doing now. Yeah,
that's the one area we talked about it. This team has struggled on the penalty kill a little bit. I get it. I mean, they gave up 3 power play goals in one game to both Strathroy and Alvinston. That will definitely inflate the numbers quite a bit as this power play expires. So the Ironmen start 0 for 1 on the man advantage. There's a shot kicked away nicely by Weir. Open ice here in the corner. Brady Hunter gets at his man, pops it free, might be a 3-on-1. Here's Palillo moving up. He's got Hunter and Montgomery. Palillo for Hunter. Hunter back out front, and they stick at it, but unable to get a twig on that one was Palillo. Now up the wall. Six Nations looks to start up. Here's Mitch Brown. He'll fly through center ice. Gain the line, offside. And it was just that little hesitant move from Mitch Brown, put his line mate offside, and they're going to have to reset, get the face-off in center.
Well, that's something you're not going to see in a month of Sundays. As Christian Palillo had a wide-open trailer. All he had to do was put it in his general vicinity, and he put it right in his feet, unable to pick up that pass.
I think that's the announcer's jinx, Brian, because you called him a great passer earlier, and then I'm just kidding. Christian is one of the best passers in this league as he gets his man set up. Just missed that time. But
I'm sure he'll tell everyone that the trailer was just moving so fast he skated right past.
Exactly, or he'll say it was the stick's fault.
Slow ice. It's slow ice here.
Salter fires cross ice, hoping for Palillo. That one's out of his reach. They're going to wave off the icing. On the puck in behind their own net, DeCare. DeCare fires it up on that far side. Ironmen look to get transition, and that one under the stick of Hill, so that'll be icing. And the faceoff is Zach Weir didn't like that. Hill made a little play near the goal mouth after the icing. And Weir taking a little skate over to the corner. Zach's not a guy who's easy to get under his skin, but you can see he was a little bit frustrated with that.
Well, and then clearly that's what they're doing now. You've gone 35 minutes into a hockey game and unable to score, and they have had scoring opportunities, but Zach Weir has stood tall.
Off the face-off win, Henderson from the line gets across. DiCristofaro, the blast. That one, wow, might have been on edge as he set that one high and wide of everything, as they would say in baseball, just a bit outside. As DiCristofaro tries again. He'll chip this one through out of the reach of Salter. The bouncing puck comes out to center. DiCristofaro looks for it. Puck comes free. Here comes Hill. Might be a 2-on-1. Look out. The fired shot. Big save by Weir. Irish got to clean that up. You got a 3-0 lead. No need to get your defense over aggressive like this. Here's Hill. He backhands in front, and they send it wide. Man rumbles into his own goaltender. Hill stays on it. Hill loses the battle, though. Nice play by Matt Henderson. Puck does go in behind the net. Anderson on it there. Anderson gives it back to Hill. Hill can't find it. Now he does. He'll get it. Spot the trailer, and the stick explodes that time. So that should allow the Irish to clear, and they can't. Now they fire back door. Very scrambly shift here defensively for the Irish. Hill gets it across to Anderson. Anderson battles. He'll get it all the way across. There's Hill. Hill fires the shot off the glove of Weir, high and wide, and out into center ice. Irish aren't safe just yet. They need puck possession.
Well, they're exhausted. They got to get off the ice. They need to change very badly.
That was a tough shift for DiCristofaro. Just got caught scrambling a little bit, and then one bad pass off his skates, and it led to all this offensive zone time. Here's Anderson. Anderson makes a move, leaves it at the line for Sokol. He'll put it down low. There's Theo Hill back for Sokol, and his shot almost hit the official in the corner. Now it comes free. There's Hill. Hill spots the trailer. It's Briglin. Briglin battles with DiCristofaro. Going on 2 minutes here on this shift. They get it out front. Good poke check by DiCristofaro as Hill was loose. Now Salter makes a play on the puck. It pops free, and there's Hill again. They just can't get it out. Now Hill fires, and Weir snatches that one out of midair, and he'll get his teammates that much-needed change. What a shift there from the Ironmen. A bad shift defensively from the Irish, but they live to tell about it, Brian.
Well, those first two giveaways, next thing you know, you're pooped, you run out of steam, and then you've got to somehow manage. But they had the puck 2 or 3 more times after they had run out of speed. At the very end of the day, icing the puck gives you a rest, a short rest, but, albeit, but it gives you a face-off and a rest. So when you are fully exhausted, just shoot the puck down the ice.
As there's one fired over, Sokol has it. He'll fake the pass, turn back. And now Ironmen look to start the rush. In the feet, Theo Hill still out there. This is talk about a long shift, man. That's like Brendan Feasy-esque. He's been out there for the last 5 minutes. Here comes Charlton. He'll spin free, and then he'll put it down low. There's Robbins. Ray Robbins out there with Charlton and Cabral. Little mix up here of the lines. Here's Charlton. Charlton turns, puts it back to the line, gets it back. Now Silver gets it. He'll just put it in deep, but he couldn't get it deep as it was actually off of the Ironman defenseman Sokol, and then it's dumped back in by Silver, and the Irish will go after it. Out in center ice, Mitch Green, the captain, tries to make a move. He gets around one. That's Cabral, and now Green gets it back. Green swings wide. Good play, though, that time by D'Oliveira, and then Green still has the puck in behind the net. He's in the corner, gets it back to the line. Cross-ice pass, the fired shot from the line, kicked away by Weir nicely, and then Cabral. He's an expert at that, Brian. You'll see that. That's one thing he does when he's on that half wall. He knows how to chip that puck just enough so it's not icing and potentially spring a teammate. He's going to be a welcome addition here at Stratford. Here's Theo Hill. Got 10 seconds off. Now he's back out. Makes a nice pass. Briglin the shot, and it goes off the mask of Zach Weir up and into the netting, out of play. just under 2 minutes to go here in period number 2.
Well, Stratford's really fortunate that they haven't been scored on thus far. The last 5 or 6 minutes of this period have been dead feet, dead legs, and so they need to start moving their feet to get out of this period with this 3-goal lead. Very, very important, as we all know, to have that 3-goal lead going into the third.
Montgomery loses that draw, pops free, and away goes Brady Hunter. Hunter can't get by Dylan Hill, and Hill's going to turn it to the opposite side. And then they're going to dump it in. They were offside. They did tag up quickly, and Weir's going to chop it up the far side. Back at the line, Hill. Hill fires it off those very lively Allman boards. It comes free to Thomas. He'll fire it. It goes out the opposite side. Here's Hill. He'll put it back down. It finds Thomas. Thomas there. He'll chip it behind the net. They got a man loose at the side of the net, but a good lift that time by Sean O'Brien, Now O'Brien in trouble. Turns it over. Here's Oakley. Thomas backhands it right into the chest of Zach Weir. And Brian, I got to say, if you're turning the puck over like this against a team like, say, Alvinston, you're not going to live to tell about most of these opportunities, as it's been a sloppy second half of the second period.
Well, O'Brien is shaking his right wrist out like he got slashed on that play, but that'll only explain the one turnover. It won't explain the other 3.
Yeah, that was a tough situation. They score off the draw. I believe it was Anderson.
Yep.
Sent that one on goal. It beats Weir. Don't know if it changed direction on the way in, but the Ironmen break the shutout, get their first of the night, and they're back within 2 goals just like that, Brian.
Well, that hit something on the way in, but it was a clean draw, and nobody had him coming off the face-off. Frankly, the Stratford got what they deserved there. As I mentioned, the last 4 or 5 minutes, they've been absolutely dead-legged. Guys taking too long of shifts. When you're short bench and you're late in a period, they need to change quicker, and that way bring the pace up. When they're playing at their pace, they won't have any problem beating this team.
DeCristofaro backhands it through. It's chipped up. And Palillo being held, and they are going to call it. Yeah. I was going to say, that's the
easiest call of the night right there.
Dylan Hill's not getting away with that one, as that was quite obvious. And Stratford will get a late second period power play. A minute to go here in period 2, so the man advantage would carry over into period 3, unless, of course, they could put one in here late in this second period.
And, of course, Hill does the old palms up Shoresy for what? Comment, but like I said, that was the easiest call of the night that I've seen so far. He just tied Palillo right up and didn't allow him to go get a loose puck, meanwhile showing no interest in playing the puck himself.
All right, so Charlton on the draw. He's out there with Hernandez and Palillo as they're trying to get the clock figured out here for the penalty. And Henderson on the opposite point of Sean O'Brien. It was 84 who took the penalty. 84? All right, they got it figured out. Off the face-off. Six Nations controls momentarily, but a good forecheck keeps the puck alive. Here's Palillo from the angle. He'll look things over, let his defenseman get set up, and then his cross-ice pass out of the reach of Henderson. He'll reset. Matt Henderson to Charlton, back to the line. Now the backdoor pass out of the reach of Henderson, and he'll reset things. Gets it to the high slot, Charlton. He'll backhand it across. On the puck there, Palillo. Christian Palillo walks through. O'Brien, cross ice on the tape, fired, deflection, score! Thomas Hernandez on the doorstep. Tips it in, and the Irish regain the 3-goal lead. What a beautiful setup, Brian. It was a little sloppy at the beginning of that power play, but that tic-tac-toe right there was just a thing of beauty.
Well, the Ironmen like to put pressure on in all 3 zones on the penalty kill, which is something that I like. But one way to beat that is with 2 quick passes. And that's what happened there. They got the puck back to the point, a nice backhand pass, and then, of course, a cross-ice pass. I believe it was
O'Brien.
It was O'Brien that passed it across, and then the shot, and then the wonderful tip in front of the net by Hernandez, and a huge goal in the last minute of the second period.
All right, Brian, I'm going to announce the goal here.
And we got 15 seconds left, and the puck is being battled for down in the zone. Cabral down there with several others. And that's all they'll want to do now is just keep that puck down. Of course, they get the puck out now, and they're fortunate that they didn't get a piece. Icing is waved off. Somebody got a piece of it. Higher on the glass by Weird, turned it over, and that is the end of the second period. So the late goal by the Irish makes it 4-1. And how big is that after giving up all the momentum in the last 5 or 6 minutes of that period, and then of course the kind of quirky goal that ended up going in. And so by Anderson, excuse me. And so now at the end of 2 periods, the score is Stratford 4 and the Six Nations Ironmen 1. And we'll take a little break and come back for the 3rd period after we get the ice cleaned up. And
thanks a lot, partner. I really appreciate you jumping in there. 4-1 the score in favor of the Irish. We're going to handle the chuck-a-puck, all that stuff. We'll be back on the other side. But overall, again, it's hard to judge a game like this for the Stratford Irish. You got so many names out of the lineup tonight. But I've been really impressed with the guys who've stepped up tonight. Six Nations, of course, they're 4-5-0. It's not like they're coming into tonight like the Woodstock Lakers, sitting at 0-8 or anything like that. This is still a good hockey team. They have a few former OHLers. They run a system, and the Irish have made adjustments since that last time when we went to Six Nations. They made adjustments tonight to counter their breakout, and it looks like Six Nations is almost lost. They're knocking down those outlet passes. A couple of bad turnovers, boom, boom, it's in the back of your net, and you go in now into the 3rd period with a 4-1 lead. Good adjustments, good on Graz and the coaching staff for kind of getting that figured out, and we'll see how that final 20 shapes up, partner. What are your thoughts?
Well, you speak of adjustments. The number one adjustment needed in the Six Nations side of it is their defensemen need to stop giving the puck away. When they get pressured, they have a very much a proclivity for coughing up bad, soft passes. Some of them are cross ice. Some of them are up the boards. There's really no rhyme or reason to them, but they are soft. And so they need to understand that whether it's, as I spoke earlier about getting the Stratford forwards getting back lower to help ease the pressure off the defensemen, I think that's even more important. The downside to that is that the lower the Six Nations forwards get to get the first pass, the more difficulty they're going to have coming out of the zone with speed and through center ice with speed, because Stratford is simply the faster team.
Yep.
And so you need your defensemen to play faster and get firm passes. And if you're going to miss and get an icing, so be it, but you cannot turn the puck over anymore, because they are, not only are they unlucky that they don't have more than 1 goal, they're also lucky that they're not down 6-1.
Yep, you're absolutely right, Brian. It has been an entertaining opening 40 minutes of this contest, folks. Stick around. We'll be back with our final 20 minutes or more. You're watching Stratford Irish Hockey, presented to you live only on SPORFIE.
All right, hockey fans, welcome back to period number 3 in this interesting hockey game between the visiting Six Nations Ironmen and your hometown Stratford Irish. 4-1 for Stratford thus far. It's been a very entertaining hockey game. The pace has been really good, and late power play goal after some dominant play by the Ironmen on the last 5 or 6 minutes of the second period. And the late power play goal helped Stratford to bounce back from that. So last time they had we were talking about it off air, that the last time Stratford had a home game, it was against Alvinston, and they had a 4-1 lead after 2 periods. So they're going to really focus on making sure that they make this lead stand up, get a good jump out, maybe get the next goal.
All right, we are underway here in period 3. Stephen Pirog, on the far side, gets it back. Pirog, the shot off the crossbar, up and into the netting. That's a way to test the goaltender early on. Get him thinking. And Pirog just missed. We'll get another face-off, our first of the period this time in the Ironman zone.
Well, yet another good pass by Christian Palillo, who's had a really good hockey game tonight. Has had lots of scoring opportunities. Could have 2 or 3 goals, to be honest with you, but he's got a couple of assists, and he's shown everybody how good he is with the puck.
Robbins wins another draw. Palillo takes it. He'll fire, and that one right into the glove of Porter. No problems. And we'll do the face-off in the same spot. Just a recap for everybody. First period, Stratford jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Jeff Silver got his first in his first game as a member of the Irish, and then Ray Robbins later on assisted from Palillo and Pirog. Cabral got the breakaway goal to make it 3-0. And then immediately after the Six Nations Ironmen got on the board, Brendan Anderson made it 3-1. And then Tommy Hernandez, with 30 seconds to go in period 2, got the power play goal, and that's where we stand at 4-1 in what's been a very entertaining game. That one sent down, no icing. Henderson will go in after it. Green all over him. Those two had quite the battle in Six Nations, and I think Henderson got the last laugh last time. We'll see how it goes tonight. As Brian was mentioning, the Stratford Irish had a 4-1 lead heading into the third, their last home game, and we know how that went. Here's Mitch Green. Tries to get it back to the line. It's picked off, and then Briglin takes it right back. Here's Briglin in behind the net, the big-bodied Laforme out front. They get it to him. Laforme tries the stuff. He has to go behind the net, looks for the wraparound. Puck still loose. It comes back at the line. Mitch Green will fire that one wide of everything. And Irish getting a little sloppy once again in their defensive zone coverage. As that one at the opposite point, Sokol fires it, and Weir saw that all the way. That's no problems for the Irish netminder. He'll hold on, and we're going to face off in the Stratford end.
Well, this is where you suffer, having all these new faces and all the guys out of the lineup missing, is that you don't have a lot of continuity. And so there's a lot of over pursuit going on in the defensive zone. They just need to worry about their quadrants, their areas, and not worry so much about chasing the puck.
In behind their own net, O'Brien swings it up the wall. There's Thomas Hernandez. He'll chip it in. Going after it, it'll be Matt Montgomery. He goes in with Hill. They tie up. Hill tries to get it free. Dylan Hill turns back, and now he's going to reset in behind the safety of his own net. Hill waits for things to get set up. He'll fire it to his partner, and then the fire pass right on the tape. Nice pass there. Here's General. General makes a nice move around O'Brien, but O'Brien gets the stick in there and makes a nice play as that one's sent down the ice. Will it be icing? Yes, and the faceoff will come back into the Stratford zone.
Well, this just gets more and more interesting as the game goes on. Hill was being dogged by Montgomery in the offensive zone there. Got away from him, got behind the net, and was looking for someone to pass to. But while he was looking, he was chirping. He was chirping at Montgomery. So I don't know. I'm assuming at some point in time that they might have a conversation about things. But for right now, it's just fun to watch it build up.
That one sent all the way down. Will it be icing? No, they wave it off. Hernandez ties up in the corner, as that was DeCare. He gets it to Hill. Hill gets it up, and then General in center ice finds Anderson. Anderson, the goal scorer for the Ironmen. He'll swing behind the net. All over him that time was De Oliveira, and then Anderson puts it back down low, but De Oliveira read that play, and then he'll send it up the wall. Brady Hunter on the puck, gives it back to De Oliveira. De Oliveira has to wait, and now he'll walk out the other side, try the opposite end of the ice. On it there, Cabral. Cabral, nice move. Gets the pass up, walking in. Silver, a quick shot. The rebound, and who said this guy couldn't score goals? As it's covered up nicely there by Porter. But, man, I've been really impressed with Silver. That was a good pinch. Made a nice play. Good stop that time. But
he's had a wonderful debut, and, he's shown, again, mitigating the loss when you're missing a player like Cole Thiessen. Any involvement from the defenseman during that makes it worth its weight in gold.
17:20 to play here in period 3. Ironman control from their own zone. They look to start a breakout. Up the wing, that one off a stick high up and into the rafters as fans sent ducking out of the way, but everybody seems to be okay. As I believe the puck, the group of girls up there are pointing. It looks like the puck actually got stuck in the part where the roof meets kind of that top truss across. So nobody's getting a souvenir, and they're going to try for it.
Well, somebody's going after it. Yeah, it might have come down, to be honest with you. It went that way, and this is one of the rare rinks that doesn't have the netting around the side.
Yep, keep your head up. As that one in behind the net, arm does go up, so we got a penalty upcoming to Stratford. There's a shot. They try to get the tip. Weir blockers it away, and then
I think it's going to be Ethan Salter on a probably boarding.
Yeah, that would be the call. It looks
cross check. It was a little bit from behind, so there was definitely a foul. You could have called it any one of 2 or 3 things there, but at the end of the day, Stratford will have to kill off another penalty. They did a great job in the second period of killing one off. Now, the big difference here from that last game is the fact that when they took their first penalty, they took a bad second one as well. So it's going to be important for them to get a kill here on the way to winning this hockey game.
That's a good start right there as it's cleared all the way down calmly by Matt Henderson. Montgomery, good offensive forecheck here while he's shorthanded. He ties up with Hill, and Montgomery just putting in work as Mitch Green kicks the puck free. And that's how Montgomery gets under your skin, doing stuff like that. I mean, it's all part of the game. But when you get a good, aggressive penalty killer, it can definitely get you worked up. As Anderson had a look at Montgomery, I'm surprised he didn't unload the slash right there. Turned over. Robbins, the backhander. It's still loose. Robbins battles for it. And that's inexcusable right there from Six Nations. But look at the great penalty killing. Now Henderson's going to turn back, wisely play it, and waiting there, De Oliveira. He'll get it up. Cabral, it's in his feet. He can't find it. Look out. Now the bouncing puck. It evades a man, but they're offside as Theo Hill beat the play, and Anderson argues, but it wasn't him who was offside. It was Theo Hill on the far side, who, as you can see, is not arguing. I wonder why.
Well, there was some choppy play on both sides there at center ice, but it almost turned into an odd man rush on the power play for Six Nations, and so Stratford's lucky that they went offside.
One of the nice things with both Cabral and Brendan Charlton, the newcomers in that trade with Halton Hills, is they can both play center, Brian, and they can both win draws. So that's a very important thing to have when you get down into crunch time and you're playing those really good teams. You need to start winning faceoffs, especially in your own zone, and both those guys can do it. So very valuable pieces as now Stratford gets a little lost here in center ice. They do allow them to gain the line easily, but then a nice play by Di Cristofaro, and then Cabral follows it up and gets it all the way down the ice.
To your point, both of them are marvelous skaters. They're so fast.
That's one thing the Irish lacked in the last couple of years outside of guys like Magwood and Pekka, was that elite talent ability in skating. Here's a play out front. Anderson bidding for his second. They can't get it on net. Now O'Brien ties up. Puck comes free to the line. It's Dylan Hill. He'll give it back to Laforme. He'll fire. Kick save Weir. The rebound momentarily there, and then Di Cristofaro is tripped up, no call, and in center ice, Hill's going to reset. Dylan Hill, the defenseman, he'll gain the blue line. He'll swing wide, take it right to the slot, and Zach Weir, no problems there. He absorbs that shot, and he'll hold on with just 12 seconds to go. Six Nations in trouble, in danger of going 0 for 2 to start this game on the power play, and we're running out of time, Brian.
Well, they're just not generating a whole lot of chances. That was good there, but that was more on the rush than it was setting it up and actually doing something on the power play. So they really haven't done much setting up and moving the puck around.
Final 10 seconds of the man advantage. That one played at the side of the goal. Henderson tries to get it out. He can't get it by Hill. Now Hill sends it all the way down. As the final 2 seconds tick off the power play, we're back to 5 aside. Irish can't clear. It's turned over. Ironman fire and score! Is that Brigland? I believe it is. Right after the power play expired, Irish couldn't get it out, and Brigland makes them pay. And just like that, don't look away yet, folks. It's a 4-2 hockey game.
Well, 2 things happened there. Number one, the puck came around the boards to Christian Polillo, and for whatever reason, he just was unable to play the puck cleanly, turned it over and gave up a scoring opportunity. And then it was De Oliveira, who's had a very good game, but he got a piece of that when I could see he tapped his chest toward Weir right after the goal went in.
Here's Hernandez looking for offense the other way. He'll fire the sharp angle shot off the outside of the net. And that's one thing you didn't want to do, is give the Ironmen some late life. And the Irish have done just that. As they fire a pass up in center ice, Brigland, he's got a little extra jump in his step here after getting that 4-2 goal. He'll bounce one back to the line. They'll fire a shot deflected into the corner nicely by Polillo, and then Polillo in a little bit of trouble with Mitch Brown, and you could see the relentlessness of Six Nations on the forecheck, holding the Irish at bay. Here's Henderson. He'll play it off the wall nicely. Gets Polillo in stride. Polillo the shot, and he sent it wide. Henderson knocks it down, keeps it in, gets it back to Hernandez, who will fire. It's blocked. Good block that time by General. He's stung. He's going to head to that Ironman bench. Hopefully he's okay. Now Mitch Brown. He'll gain the line onside. Gets Brigland. Brigland between the legs, and he nearly scored. That would have been something right there, Brian. Now a play out front, and Oakley Thomas sent it wide. Irish got to get back to their game. They're getting sloppy here in period 3. And in behind the net, Henderson will play it. He'll send it high off the glass. That was very dangerous, very close to being a delay of game penalty, which would be the last thing they need right now. Ironman got a little extra jump, like I said, from that 4-2 goal that they just scored. Silver up the wall, knocked down Robbins. He'll get it out in center. Chipped through, and it was out of the reach that time of the intended target, Pirog, but Pirog gets it back. Pirog turns it down low, out of the reach of O'Brien. Sokol will be on it there. Sokol comes together with Charlton, and then he'll turn and spin it up the opposite side. It's picked off by Pirog. Here's Pirog. From the side of the net, tries the stuff play, and it just sat there in the goal mouth for a moment, but the Ironmen get it out eventually to the line and out to center ice as Robbins sends it right back in. Irish peel off for a change. Robbins, the F1, pressures, and Theo Hill goes away. Look out. Leading scorer of this Ironman team. All he needs is an inch of space, and that time he nearly picked the corner on Weir, but Weir got a piece of it. Now the fired shot off a leg. Comes out the other side. Hill the shot, and it was off the outside of the net. Now the chip play at the line, unable to get it Montgomery, and now O'Brien's going to have some time to reset. He's got Silver. Silver fires a pass right on the tape. Here comes Hunter with speed. Hunter burns his man, gets it to the net, and a good save that time off the pad of Porter. Man, Jeff Silver, what a pass that was. I think he's going to fit in very well with this Irish team, Brian.
And what a burst of speed by Hunter. Wow, he just blew that defenseman's doors off.
Here's Montgomery, sidesteps a check, might be a 2-on-1. Montgomery moves in, takes the shot, and Porter's got it under the arm. And Montgomery had the pass option there, but he wanted to sneak that one, maybe get Porter leaning a little bit, but Porter give him nothing on that near side. Made a good save. He'll hold on, and we'll get another face-off in the Ironman zone.
Well, that was the play taking the shot. He made a nice move, nice burst of speed to get through the original checker to create the odd man rush.
Off the draw, Irish control. There's a play towards the net by De Cristofaro. It bumped free, and look out now, Anderson's behind the defense, but they can't get the pass to him, and that'll be icing on the Irish. Sorry, on the Ironman. Face-off comes back into the Ironman zone.
Well, a good time just to sort of take stock of where you're at. You've got a 2-goal lead with 12:05 to play in the third period and an offensive zone face-off. It's time to get some offensive pressure, get your feet moving, and they've got 3 good opportunities to salt this thing away here.
There's a pass towards the middle by Robbins, and it's taken away by Sokol. Cabral, though, good work. He'll stick it down low. It bounces off the side of the net, and Hill gets it to the line, and by De Cristofaro, look out. Here they come. Moving in Brigland. Brigland turns back, fires, hoping for the trailer, and it bounces free. Here goes Cabral. Can he get those legs going? Cabral just gains the blue line, tries to dump it in. It actually hits his man, and now he goes after it further in the corner. Laforme sticks it free to Hill. Hill backhanded cross ice, and Brigland's going to start the breakout. He's got Laforme. Laforme gains the red line. He'll work right in, and they're not dumping and chasing Brian in this third period. I've noticed they're looking for the carry, and so far it's allowed them to get some space. There's a front door pass off the leg of De Cristofaro, and they're going to start to rush the other way. Cabral, he'll just hoist it through center. They're going to say that's icing, as that was from his own side of the red line. Just barely, but it was.
It sure was. Unfortunately, just needed one more stride there to get to the red line. Those are mistakes that you don't want to have happen in the third period with a 2-goal lead. Having said that, they do have Robbins on the ice now, who is one of their best face-off men, so they'll count on him for a face-off draw to the right of goaltender Zach Weir.
Mitch Brown on the draw with Robbins. And the Irish control off the face-off. Cabral gets that one into center. He's going to peel off for the change. And here they come with speed. Salter fires. Good save up high by Porter, and he's just going to cover up with P-Rog right in his grill. And he'll play it over to the linesman to get things set up. We'll get a face-off to his right.
I've noticed that when Stratford players get time and space, they are almost exclusively shooting high on the goaltender. There is space on the near side. He looks like he's just cheating a little bit there. They might want to go looking low blocker just above the pad. I think there's a spot there for them.
Face off to the right of Porter. It's controlled by the Irish. Here's Palillo. He'll fire. High blocker that time, and Porter deflected it off his arm, and in center ice, the Irish look to dump it back in. It's a bouncing puck, and it's settled down by Porter, who crashes into Porter, ironically, as Tim Porter, the goaltender, jumped over that time, as that was Sandy Porter, who came in and nearly took out his own goaltender, but a little acrobatic move, and now the Irish are away at center. Here's the pass on the tape as P-Rog swings wide. He'll go into the corner. P-Rog makes a nice little head fake and then tried to get it back to Palillo, but those two a little bit off in communication. And now the aerial pass. Look at O'Brien has some trouble with it, but he does get it out, and Brown gets hit. Puck pops free, and then Palillo sends it down. That was not, I thought that was in the circle on this side, but they do say it was icing, so we're going to face off back at the Stratford end.
Well, he was over the line, but the puck wasn't when he released it, and unfortunately that was just a pass that missed an opportunity for I think it was P-Rog streaking down the right wing there, and probably would have had a partial breakaway if he was able to connect.
Palillo's a tree, so when you miss passes, it makes sense that the puck would be in a different neutral zone side, and Palillo would still get the icing.
That's that big reach where his feet are on the blue line, but the puck's still on the other side of center.
Oh, nice play that time. That's a heads-up play by Charlton, and now they're going to have to reset as the fired pass off the stick of Palillo. Hill's on it there. Hill goes cross ice, and now the Ironmen try to get it off the foot of Anderson, so no icing. And on the puck there, it's De Oliveira. De Oliveira waits, fires up, kicked up by Hernandez. Man blows a tire. Puck eventually does come free, and here comes Silver. Silver works his way in, takes the quick shot, and the save down low by Porter. Now Hunter chips down low Montgomery. Montgomery's got a man in front, and it was partially blocked by, once again, General, who's had a good game in terms of the block shots department. Back at the line, Henderson. He'll backhand it, he'll ride in behind the net. Man goes down. Montgomery can't find the puck, though. He ties his man up, and now it's a three-man scramble, 4, now 5, as Hernandez and Montgomery getting worked on right there. He gets taken down, and away go the Ironmen. Might have a 3-on-2. Moving in, Henderson decides to attack that time. And Anderson gets it out front right on the tape of Hill, but he couldn't settle it down. Now Dylan Hill walks through, takes a shot. It was blocked up and into the netting and out of play.
Wow, they got to call that.
Yeah, Anderson.
That's a two-hander by Anderson right on the hands of Hernandez. After the play was over, away from the puck. That's what a second referee's for. You have to make that call.
Well,
it was a blatant two-handed slash.
Just sending him to the bench. He's not giving him the penalty here. And at the end of the day, I agree with you, especially, when you're this late in the game and the tempers have already flared, you got to take control. And
well, the Six Nations team has decided that they are going to give Hernandez a tough ride here, so he's doing the right things. He just keeps having that smile on his face. As long as there's a 2-goal Stratford lead, they won't bother him too much.
Off the draw, controlled. Cabral went at it that time with, I believe that was Six Nations crying for a penalty right there. You're not going to get that one, as Robbins is going to start up. Robbins working on Hopkins. He'll dump it in. He'll go after it. Ray Robbins, Sokol on it first. He'll send it up the wall. And now Sokol gets it back. He'll make a quick move, jump around a man, and now we got a penalty. And is it Cabral?
That's a
nope,
bench
it's penalty. A bench penalty on the head coach of Six Nations. Wow. As they asked for a boarding call in behind the play. It wasn't boarding. And coming from a team that just two-handed a guy right on the wrists moments before that didn't get called.
Well, the other thing, too, it was unfortunate timing in the fact that the player kind of opened himself up he spun with his face toward the boards right before he got hit. So he had already committed to the hit. And so, I can, as usual, be accused of being somewhat biased. But I thought he kind of opened himself up for an opportunity to get hurt there. And I see that sometimes in hockey, and it really disturbs me.
So Oakley Thomas will serve the penalty. And off the draw, Sokol getting physical with Charlton. He'll backhand it up the boards, but not out. Here's Henderson, who had a beautiful goal back in Six Nations on the power play as they got it set up, but he had Cole Thiessen feeding him the puck. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that luxury tonight. On the far side, Palillo walks in, takes the shot, and he sent it high and wide. Palillo, man, if he starts hitting the net, he's going to be dangerous. That shot is flying off the tape. Palillo looks things over, gets it back. He plays catch with O'Brien. Irish not really moving their feet here on this power play. They got to get something set up. Now the pass for Charlton out of his reach, and it's sent down. Mitch Brown's going to fly after it. He goes with O'Brien. O'Brien gets the puck in center, and here's Charlton, who gets hooked. No call. In front, Pirog walks in, shoots, and he sent it off the glove that time. A nice stop at the last second by Porter. Spinning free, Palillo takes the hit, bumps it down low. Pirog in a bit of trouble. Irish trying to get the power play back to a setup formation, and they'll do just that. As here's O'Brien. He'll give it back to Charlton. Charlton cross ice, and away goes Theo Hill. Henderson all over him. Mitch Brown has it, and then Hill offside, so they're going to have to peel back. Ironmen, good penalty kill here. 44 seconds. They kept everything to the outside of that Palillo chance, but he sent that high and wide, and now that one tipped high off the glass and in. Hill will go after it with DiCristofaro. DiCristofaro makes a quick move there. He'll start up, fire it. Cabral's got it. Cabral takes a bump from Hill. And they battle. Robbins gets it free and then spins it around, but nobody home. And the Ironmen will get first on it. LaForme, he'll backhand it, gets it out to center ice, and away goes Hill. Hill, 1-on-2, just puts it down low. De Oliveira takes it away. Final 8 seconds of this power play. Irish are set to go 1 for 3 on the man advantage tonight. 30%, that sounds about right. As De Oliveira puts it up, we're back to 5 aside. Here comes Ray Robbins. He'll dump it in. He'll peel off, and Hill's going to settle it down there. 6:20 to go here in period 3. Ironmen trailing by 2. They got to get something going here if they're going to get anything going. Cabral loses possession. Robbins backhands it, and on the puck there, De Oliveira. From behind his own net, puts it right on the tape. That was Salter, and here they come. Robbins drops it back. Cabral, quick shot, he scores! Welcome to Stratford, Mateo Cabral. What a debut.
Snipe show there. Wow, top cheese.
What a shot.
Glove hand side, had no chance. Who does that remind you of, that shot? That was a Zach Magwood wrist shot right there. And Thomas Cabral, Mateo Cabral, my apologies, is having quite the debut with the Irish. That's 2 goals now, and he's having a fantastic game. That speed and that shot Well, I tell you, once they get Pekka and Magwood back, you have to say to yourself, who's going to be ready to deal with those top two lines? And then Montgomery on the third line in a checking capacity. So, I mean, Stratford really looks good right now, even though they're very shorthanded. And so now we've got just under 6 minutes left in a 5-2 hockey game. And the puck is dumped in, and Zach Weir plays it and leaves it behind his own net for D'Oliveira. Forechecker is on him. He gives the puck away and coughs it up right in front of the net. And he just fanned on the shot. So fortuosity strikes there, and it's going to be icing on Stratford. So another turnover by the Stratford defense when they are pressured, and this time it was D'Oliveira, who has been, as I mentioned earlier, has been really solid, but not having a great third period right now. So at the end of the day, you've got 5:26 remaining in a 5-2 hockey game with the face-off to the left of Zach Weir, and we'll see if Stratford can get the puck out.
Off the draw, the quick shot off the glove of Zach Weir. And it's down in the corner. DiCristofaro battles with his man. He ties him up. Puck pops free. Anderson tries a sneaky shot. Rebound up in the air. Anderson sticks at it. And instead it goes out towards the line. Montgomery makes a nice move. Gets around a man. Here goes Matt Montgomery. Can he get to the puck? He'll be first on it, but he's alone. So he's just going to wait. And now he's going to smartly tie his man up in the corner as we tick under 5 minutes to go here in period 3. Montgomery just putting in crazy amounts of work in the corners tonight. And that's what we talked about when we mentioned Montgomery and part of that playoff run. It's stuff like that, just winning those battles in the offensive zone and just wearing you down on the forecheck. Here comes Anderson. He's got one of the 2 goals for the Ironmen. He'll backhand it towards the middle, and it's picked off, and Silver fires it up out of the reach of Hunter, so that'll be icing on the Irish. And, man, what a debut for Mateo Cabral. I'd say that trade's probably going to work out nicely for the Stratford Irish, considering they're thinking of putting him on the third line. Man, I'd give him a shift with Pekka and Magwood and see what those 3 could do.
Oh, my, that's almost overkill, isn't it? It's there's so many good hockey players on this roster. All they got to do is start getting them out 9 forwards at a time, and a couple of the defensemen that they're missing, and we'll see what happens from there. And I understand there's still more roster moves in the works, but we'll see what happens.
Hunter slides that one through. It's kicked away by Porter. Pirog waits, gets it to Silver at the line. He'll fire, deflected just wide by Brady Hunter. Nice tip that time, but unable to put it home. Now this puck bouncing. It eventually comes to Laforme. Laforme gets around O'Brien, and then he'll give it back to O'Brien, but Green follows up, makes a nice play, and the Ironmen start their forecheck. On the puck there, Brigland. He's got the second of the 2 Ironmen goals, puts it in behind. Laforme kicks at the puck, takes Silver down. Silver's on top of the puck. We'll see if they give it a whistle here. Doesn't look like they're planning on it. They want this thing to move along. Green gives him a shove, puts him into the net, and the Irish are going to start the breakout. In comes Hernandez, fires the shot, and Porter a little shaky, but he's got it. He took a peek behind him, but it was underneath the arm. And Silver, man, I've been really impressed with him as well. Again, a buddy of Justin Murray, our former captain. I guess Murr kind of referred him in his place, and I got to say, he's been really impressing me tonight, Brian. Playing a very good game. He's kind of settled in nicely on that second, third pair, and when all the bodies are here, it's a great thought to think about, Cole Thiessen and Connor Hall and Matt Barnes, and then, you can throw in a DiCristofaro, you can throw in a D'Oliveira, you can throw in a guy like Silver, and
Henderson.
Yeah, exactly.
Henderson's going to be out there, that's for sure.
Well, Matt Henderson, he's slated to play all 20 games this year, obviously barring injuries, and he's having a great start to his season defensively as well, which is one of the things that people always knocked on Matt Henderson back on his days with the Flint Firebirds and the Plymouth Whalers. They said, he's a great skater, he's got great hockey IQ, but he doesn't play a lot of defense. Well, he's making plays like that this year, and he sends it calmly through center ice as we tick down to 3 minutes remaining in period number 3.
Yeah, the only thing with Hendy, to your point, is that I'd like to see him involved more on that one-timer on the power play. He's got a huge clapper.
Oh, man, when he unleashed it against the Ironmen in Six Nations, man, it was in the back of the net before you could even blink. Palillo has trouble with that puck, and the Ironmen are going to start in. Irish were just changing the D, so they just dump it in, and then, of course, Hill goes right to the net. But great job there by D'Oliveira to stand him up, not let him get near his goaltender.
Yeah, Hill has been routinely going and taking a look after stoppages there, and this team gets in your face. They're not nice about it. They're not a nice hockey club, these Ironmen, and they make sure that if you want to beat them, you have to pay the price. You have to be willing to pay that price, and thus far Stratford has definitely done that.
Well, that's one thing I will say about the Ironmen, that I wouldn't want to face them in the postseason. I can tell you that much. They're going to be a tough out. You think of a team like Orangeville in that other division, the Loyalist division. They are extremely talented, but, how physical are they willing to get? As Cabral was tied up on that puck, they put it back down low, and Hill's going to spin it up the far side.
Is it just me or has Hill played about 40 minutes tonight?
Yeah, both Theo and Dylan Hill have both played a majority of this hockey game. And I get it. Get your big dogs out there. Weir leaves that one for Anderson, who picked it off nearly, and now the Ironmen look to get set up behind the net. On the puck there, spinning free, and then they fire one off to the blocker of Weir, calmly played away by D'Oliveira, and then he turns it over to Sokol, who's up on deep in the play on the defensive side of things. Now Hill sent one off the side of the net, trying to get it down front. Now Cabral just calmly wins that battle and sends it out through center ice. We tick down to 1:45 to play here in period 3. Cabral jumps in front of that pass, makes a nice play. He dumps it in. They step up on him, and then it's off a body at the side of the net, and the Ironmen look to start a breakout. It's turned over. Walking in, as that was Salter, but then he turned it over, and away goes Brigland. Brigland up the far side, hoping for his captain, Mitch Green. Green turns free, and then it's sent all the way down, and look out, might have a break here, Sawyer, but Sawyer got caught up too nicely. Good defensive rebound there from DeCare, and now DeCare, the big-bodied defenseman, is going to start up. He rumbles his way through center. It's poke checked off his stick, left there by Green for Laforme. Laforme dumps it in. 1:04 to go here in period 3. Up the far side, Brigland. He'll send it back down into the corner. It'll bounce on O'Brien, and now Green at the side of the net. Laforme sends it towards the goal. It's back to the line. Fired shot, looking for the tip. It settles down at the side of the net. Brigland's on it there. Brigland works his way free. Gets it to the line, and then Hopkins got a stick up high. They didn't see it or didn't call it. And now here's Brady Hunter. Hunter for Montgomery. Montgomery chips it around. He's got his man beat. Montgomery walks right in, waits in front for Hunter. He couldn't bury it. Now the fired shot off the outside of the net by D. Cristofaro. They still stuff away. Montgomery trying to get in there, but it was taken away by DeCare, and he's just going to send it up into center ice. 23 seconds to go. Here comes Mitch Brown. Mitch Brown swings wide, fires high and wide of everything, and it's going to jump over the stick of Laforme, and we're down to our final 15 seconds as that pass picked off in center by Charlton. Laforme takes it in, though. Laforme right to the net, takes the shot. Big save, Weir, as the final 5 seconds will tick down here in Stratford. Final score tonight, 5-2 in favor of the Irish. Brian, all things considered, so many new guys on the ice tonight. What were your thoughts on the game tonight as the Irish pull away with the 5-2 win?
Well, I tell you, you teed me right up there. I could spend a few minutes talking about this hockey club tonight. So many guys that we've seen that we haven't seen play before. First, my initial reaction, here we go, slide in here with this. Just bear with us, folks. The new floor in the up in the press box at the Willie tonight has got new flooring on it, and so it's a quick floor. So if I suddenly start sliding away, bear with me. Anyways,
we're drifting.
Back to business here. So, where do we begin? Let's begin with the visiting team. Good, solid team. Lots of big guys finished their check. I like the way they play. They certainly deserved more goals tonight, I thought, if they'd have been able to have a little less Swedish and more Finnish, as we like to say.
Yeah.
But the goaltending was good. A good performance overall by them. They're a year or two away. They need to land some higher quality players to be able to really compete at this level. 84 Hill really impressed me. Like I said, he played a ton of minutes tonight. And he's an in-your-face, good, solid defenseman kind of guy. So good on them. Now, for this team, this Stratford team, who we're just getting to know all over again, to be honest with you, there's so many guys on this team that, even the ones that have been here a little while, we don't have a whole lot of history on them as well. But, I mean, you talk about a couple of guys like, there's Mateo Cabral right there, 2 goals. The guy skates, the skating ability of these guys that, where are they finding these players at this point, man? They're just unbelievable. But at the end of the day, the biggest difference being, especially with all the defensemen missing, Zach Weir.
Yeah.
Zach Weir is your anchor. Zach Weir has that, as we keep saying, that calm. That Carey Price kind of calm that he's got back there. And it's a pleasure to watch him play. I've watched him play since he was a teenager. And, he had another big game tonight, and he was the difference. He's the reason it was 5-2 and not maybe a 5-4 hockey game.
Absolutely, Brian. I couldn't agree more. I mean, the new guys, the new additions. De Cristofaro had a really good first half of this game, especially. I still think he played a good game in general, but that first half of that game, he really impressed me. Also, I think De Oliveira, De Cristofaro, those two guys, like I said, on the defensive side of things, coming in, filling in a role, that we've needed. We've needed some defensive depth because one or two guys go down, all of a sudden you're running 4D or you're putting forwards on the back end like they did in Strathroy last week. But overall, I think first star tonight has to be Mateo Cabral. Just a great hockey game from him. Really impressed me, and I think that that was a move that definitely had to happen. He's electric, and it's good to see him here. He's going to be a support player on this team, and he'll learn from the guys like Zach Magwood and the Jaden Pekkas of the world, and I can't wait to see where this team goes. I mean, there was definitely, I think you'd agree, there were a couple moves that had to be made for this team. I think when we got the matchup with Alvinston, we lost the game in Tilbury. We had the overtime loss, like I said, against Alvinston. I believe we lost to Strathroy as well on the road. Those games, there were a few things that stood out, and I think that those holes are being plugged here. And I think that when you look at what this roster is going to look like, it's already getting a lot longer here, as I can see on the sheet, because we used to have.
Remember it was like 17 guys on the list, whereas some That's
the road team right there. The Irish roster used to cut off about right there. So
when Alvinston comes to town, they get the whole back of the sheet. That's all. That's the Alvinston roster there. They've got. They got as many as the Western football team does, I think.
Yep, that's just to play it safe, right? Because maybe they can have interleague scrimmages just in case everybody gets tired of playing them because they're so good. But all right, folks. All jokes aside, thank you so much for joining us today. You've been watching Stratford Irish Hockey, presented to you live only on SPORFIE. Have a good night, folks. Take care.